everyone, and welcome to another episode of Another Gaming Podcast. We're up to episode 24 now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am one of your hosts, Dustin Kreis, and joining me is the beautiful and talented Steven Stevens.
Yes! I was hoping that was going to be me. No, I was actually thinking you're going to say Chance, since he's a lot more musically and vocally inclined than me.
I got one for Chance.
Okay, so welcome. I'm excited. We got a great episode for tonight, so it's awesome.
And also joined by the ravishing, the alluring, the seductive Chance Doomwaves.
Hello!
Shit.
Was that ravishing enough?
Okay, now I'm pissed, though, because that was a good one for him.
I know! He's ravishing.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Ooh, about Venus.
And tonight, it is our great pleasure to welcome one of my recent most favorite channels, young channel, just come out of the gates and came out of the gates incredibly strong, I feel. Senkai from Accent on Gamers.
Whoa! Hello, everyone.
You might
the excitement is palpable.
You might recognize him for being
Dustin. That was very, very nice of you.
You're welcome, man. What were you saying, Steve? What were you trying to crowd in on saying?
He speaks for all of us. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
More cowbell came to mind. But I said you might notice him for being at the top of the leaderboards in Mario Kart and in Street Fighter game nights, because he was dominating in both.
We're going to stop inviting him because he always beats us.
I like how, because of that, we came up with the term Euros, which seems to be coming back every game night.
Oh, every game night. Yeah, you should have been there for... We should do Aliens Colonial Marines again so we can get them stuck in a wall.
What's happening? Aliens Colonial Marines is returning. But me, Chance, Ducky, and Bruno have to finish the campaign first for that ever happens. So, but anyways, let's get back to you, Senkai, because Dustin did give you that wonderful intro, because your channel is so great. It is one of the best on that I'm currently watching too now, in my opinion. RPG Swag Man, thank you so much for just telling us about him. I don't know if was it our podcast where he actually mentioned them the first time?
There was a video where he did a video.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he might have mentioned you in a podcast, though, saying he just started recently watching y'all. You guys might be in there. I don't know.
I think he talked about them on our podcast, because I remember watching that video and being like, "Oh, I need to check those guys out." And then like it always happens, my brain just erases everything that I just thought. And then on the podcast, I was like, "Oh yeah, shit! I need to go check those guys out." And then I went and I think I subscribed that night to watch it later on.
Oh yeah. So Senkai, why don't you tell the good folks about your channel? What made you want to start it?
Well, the thing is, I'm picking up games every now and then, and I'm beating quite a lot of games too, so...
That you are.
And both me and Mario are discussing, and a lot of other friends of mine are discussing games, and I feel like there are so many lost opportunities for making videos if I don't start now, so I really want to start so I could start recording all this, because I've... there's a lot of footage, or what do you call it? So, yeah, I'm happy I started, because I've picked up a lot of games, and those videos seems to be pretty popular. So,
yeah. I think it's always
bad to miss out on those.
It's always the situation of the pickup videos are always the most watched, and for some reason, it seems like the most hated as well. I don't understand how that works.
And the ones filled with the most random of comments.
The most random of comments.
Hey, what did you pick up? And it's a pickups video. So.
Watch and find out.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, it's so interesting to me that there are just so many channels out there. And I was kind of worried when I started my channel up 3 years ago that it's like I'm just adding to the static. There's nothing that I'm really adding to what's already out there. But when I watched your guys' channel, I was like, holy shit, these guys get it. And the reflection videos when you guys talk about when you guys did that Valkyria Chronicles video, I could not contain my excitement. I'd never touched any of the games, and immediately after watching that video, I started playing the game, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are the best thing on YouTube. So
that makes me so happy, because that's one of the reasons we wanted to make that video. I'm thinking back to whenever Johnny Millennium said that he wanted to make a channel on YouTube to spread the word about Ys, and now that series is it's very popular now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it was a bit of the same thing here because I have a lot of games that I enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
That are very popular, I feel, at least where I live. So I wanted to talk about them and spread the word. And if I made you play the Valkyria Chronicles series, I'm super happy about that. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So.
Now you keep saying we, so you can explain to the people listening that he did mention the name Mario, who Mario is, and
That's right.
what he does.
Mario's
in the podcast.
my friend, who I'm playing games with and talking about games with and everything. And we also share very similar taste in games. So whenever we were talking about making a channel, we wanted to do it together and discuss things with each other because we are having all of these discussions all the time when we're out and everything. So we just started the camera one time and tried it out, doing what we usually do, and it became a pretty legit video. So
Yeah,
that's kind of the backstory.
That's great stuff when you two guys are on there just bouncing off of each other, reflecting, and it's cool. Like we all do our own, like we'll just do a discussion on a game or something. But even when we do our little mini-sodes, like me and Dustin have done some, Chance and Dustin done some, it's always better when you can bounce off someone and just get more going in your mind and stuff you forgot. So it's pretty cool when you guys are both there doing things, making it happen.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, you're right, Steven. We do good stuff. Okay. Yeah, you guys, I'm so thankful that Greg did turn us on to your channel. So
yeah, I'm so thankful as that as well. Really.
It was tough because, like Dustin said, with your Valkyria Chronicles one, it was one where I went ahead and watched all like the whole. Did you do separate parts or was it all one video?
It was all one video.
It was all one video, yeah.
Okay. It was tough because I didn't know if I wanted to listen about parts 2 and 3, but I said forget it. I'm just going to listen to it because they're not going to spoil anything. And it came out with making me want to play the PSP one instead. Like I think part 3. Did you guys say that was your favorite one in there?
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I was like, man, and it is a prequel. Or was the second one the prequel?
Yeah, you can definitely play that one first because
okay.
I don't know how to say it, but since it's on the PSP, the first game in the series looks a lot better on the PlayStation 3. So you will just have an even better time with the first game if you play the third one first, because you appreciate the graphics even more from both the third and the first game if you play the third game first.
Okay. Well, since that is a handheld, and we do have a topic for tonight, we can get into that later on. But for now, Chance, would you do him the honors of asking him the big 3?
Because you never remember them.
I always
3
mess
questions.
it up. Why do you keep picking me to do this?
Because we'll go for a stretch where we don't let Chance get a word in. So this is me letting you get a word in.
Well, I'll first before we get there to the thing that I'm going to screw up. I will also add that I really enjoy the channel. I watch most of the videos. I did skip the Valkyria Chronicles video because I haven't picked the game up yet, and I wanted to kind of at least dip my toes in it a little bit before I watch too much.
That's cool. That will also help you follow the
discussion.
video better. So that's
yeah,
good.
exactly. I mean, I've watched a little bit of gameplay, like mid-game before, so I kind of have an idea, but I still am so noobish to the series. Like, so I want to keep it that way until I get the game. So I haven't watched that one yet, but I do really enjoy you guys pick up videos. And I remember pretty early on when Mario did one too, and you guys had kept them separate. And it's
Right.
great to see your videos where you guys talk together, but it's also great to hear separately too, like your individual channels. And because even though you guys have a lot of things in common, it's great to hear both your opinions individually also.
Right.
I actually found your channel differently. You had subscribed to my channel, I believe, and had commented on one of my game discussion videos, and it was really, really awesome comment. I really appreciated it. It made me feel good. And then I had subscribed to your channel, and then I think you gave my channel a shout out in one of your videos, and that's kind of when I started watching yours at that point. So, and then Swagman gave you guys the shout out later on, so I got to see your channel kind of in a pretty infant stage, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, glad to have you on.
And before you ask the 3 questions, something just hit my mind. I forgot to ask Dustin about. You're talking about the early stages of your channel, Dustin, and I think everyone's burning question here is what happened to the Hat Man? Why is the Hat never in any more episodes?
Because I record my videos. Let me tell you the reason why the hat was in the videos.
Okay.
What the hell was that? It was like a T-Rex back there or something. The reason why the hat was in the videos is because sometimes I would shoot my videos like in the morning, or I'd be lazy and not take a shower. And like when my hair is not done, it is like the greasiest mess you have ever seen. Like my hair just gets greasy like that. So instead of like taking a shower to do a video, I just throw the hat on. So that's why the hat was in there. But I do have the hat. It's still here.
Okay.
But
I didn't know if it was like a style change, like the hat ain't for him, isn't for you anymore. Or...
Well, my hair's shorter than it was because remember you'd always comment on the hair.
Oh yeah, that hair would be.
My hair was huge at one point in time.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't fit as well because my hair is shorter now.
Okay.
But I've been thinking about growing it back out, but not during the summer because it gets fucking humid here.
All right, Dustin. I mean, Chance. Now you can ask the questions.
All right. Let me think. Big 3. We got a big 3 on this channel.
Yep.
And I'm sure you're aware of the big 3. So if I mess this up, then I think
Chance?
you'll be okay.
Chance, why don't you just pause for a second, go back and watch one of our earlier episodes so you can figure out what the big 3 is.
The big 3 is LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. And,
not anymore.
It is no more. Okay, we won't talk about that. We're gonna get 10 dislikes for that. But big 3, we're gonna go there. We're gonna ask you your favorite game, your favorite movie, and your favorite recording artist.
Any order.
But we're gonna ask about the game first.
Or no, we're asking the game first.
All right, so I have 2 games tied up there.
Okay.
It would be Skies of Arcadia and Chrono Trigger because those 2 games are games that I have very fond memories of. Then also I have all of those games that I personally like very much, but those 2 games are games that I feel like I'm both very attached to myself, and they are also very good games in general. So I have great things to say about them myself, like memories and such, but I can also recommend them to pretty much anyone because they are both so very good. But it would have to be Skies of Arcadia.
Wow.
Actually.
Awesome.
Okay, good, because Steven doesn't like Chrono Trigger.
Steven is the biggest fan of Chrono Trigger for me.
And I think if you would have picked that, something bad would have happened.
No, the thing is, Chrono
like
Trigger is one of my first games I
Nintendo.
ever played, so that's why it means so much to me.
Understand.
Why do you hate Chrono Trigger, Steven?
Who, me? I never said it was a hate. I don't understand what's so special about it. It's just... It's the story, right? But I couldn't get into the story. So
it's not so much the story, it's the entire presentation and how something like that was not done at that point in time. Like the multiple endings and how you interacted with the different time periods and how like a decision in the past really does change the future. And the fucking music, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Corridors of Time, man.
I'm sorry to say this for all your Super Nintendo fans, but it really didn't feel like a Super Nintendo game to me. It felt a lot more like a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah,
From start to finish.
It was kind of ahead of its time.
Yeah,
but that whole time period was there was just a magic about it, and I think a lot of people kind of hold on to that nostalgia of that period. I know I do with Final Fantasy VI, but yeah.
I just got bored with it. I don't know. I got bored playing it and didn't want to continue forward. So, but Skies of Arcadia is one I really do want to try. And
you haven't played it?
Oh no, because it's expensive as crap to get.
Is that the Dreamcast one? Is it
and
exclusive
GameCube?
to
I think.
Dreamcube,
but it isn't that expensive for the Dreamcast, which is my favorite version. To be honest, it's around 20 to 30 euros.
Yeah,
and
you can get the Dreamcast version
there
for like $50, Steven.
And then I heard general praise about it, and then I won't mention their name because I don't want them getting hate for it. But Dustin will know the other Euro I'm talking about, he kind of knocked it, and I was like, oh, I thought this was supposed to be good, but I don't know. Does it have a lot? Is the battle system like you have a lot of battles and stuff? I heard
It's got a lot of random encounters, and it's kind of, I mean, comparatively to today, it's kind of slow. It's kind of a slow game.
I was going to say one thing that can really turn me off quick in a game is if the combat is happening too slow. Like, I don't want to wait forever for the combat to take place.
But the thing is that the combat aside, everything else in the whole game from start to finish is super, super fast. Like, the story and everything and everything. The pacing overall is incredible.
The pacing is really good,
Yeah, it's one of the best I've seen in a game ever. You never get stuck, and whenever you go somewhere, stuff just happens all the time. On your way to the location you're going to, stuff happens too, so it's just smashed with cool stuff, so you should really play it.
Oh, it's definitely on the must play list. And it is one you beat, right? Was it on your top 20? I couldn't remember if it was or not.
I've never beat it because I played it way back in the day when I don't know even what happened, but I just kind of got I just put it up for some reason, and I've been meaning to go back to it, but there's only so many hours in the day, and I just haven't got around to it.
Yeah.
But I got pretty far into it. I think I got 15, 20 hours into it or something like that.
Well,
pretty far.
But you did enjoy it.
That's I mean, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I have the GameCube version, but the old Dirt Store, the bargain box, they got the Dreamcast version there, and it keeps taunting me.
Whoa! How much is said version?
Whoa! It is $50 US.
See that's not cheap to me. That's
the price of a new game. I mean,
I don't really buy too many new games anymore either.
But you're getting
something I would like to discuss on the podcast as well, like how people see on prices on games.
Yeah.
Why would you buy a game like Uncharted for $60 if you're not willing to pay $50 for Skies of Arcadia?
That's answer that question, Steven.
I've never paid $60 for an Uncharted game.
I paid $60 for a game, period.
Yeah, the last $60 game I paid for was Mario Kart 8. And
I was really hoping you were going to say Dark Souls so I can give you shit.
Nope, it was Mario Kart 8. Before that, it was Dark Souls, though. But yeah, it's just not too recently I do it. And anytime I know there's a used game out there, I always just have that hope is I'm going to find it somewhere else for $3. And so when I finally cave in and pay the full retail used price on it, I kind of feel like, I had to do it. But I don't know. It's back and forth. And
another thing I have to mention. Sorry if I cut you.
No, you're fine.
Oh, cool. When it comes to money and games, whenever I pay more for a game, I feel a bigger urge to play it. I don't know why, but if I got a game for cheap, it just collects dust for the most part. I don't know why, but seriously, if you pay a good amount for a game, at least I feel like I want to play it more. I don't know why.
I can definitely understand that because I've picked up a ton of games where it's only $2, and I'm sitting here looking at my shelf right now, and I'm like, am I ever going to play Oni? Am I ever going to play Gungrave Overdrive? It's just but they're there and they're $2, and you can't really say no, and it's But then
that is tough. You're right. It's tough to turn. Well, I did. It was tough turn him down that Mary Kate today. But I was so tempted to get that game today. If you guys, I've texted the guys a picture of Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen GameCube game that I saw at the thrift store today. Just $1, and I was like, man, would it be worth $1 just to send someone as a joke package?
It would be worth $1 and the postage to send it to Alex.
I should have done it.
I need to go get him that Busta Rhymes UMD.
I was so hoping you did that, and I was like, he had to have gotten it for him. It was a cheap thing, right? Was it $1 there?
It's $2.99.
Oh, that would have been excellent.
Still worth it.
I still say we need to get the mother base moment into this podcast and let them get 5 minutes. Anyways, let's continue forth with the questions. Or did anyone else want to say stuff on the game prices?
Well, I was going to say, those $2 games are, you're just like, what the fuck ever. But then you pay $280 for Panzer Dragoon Saga, and you better fucking play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's becoming one of those things like where, especially with like PSN and like, for instance, tonight I just bought Wild Arms 1 and 2 for
Right.
99 cents each, you know, and it's like, if I probably would have never played the games because I wasn't willing to pay the price for them on the PlayStation. But since they were digital, 99 cents, I'll buy it. Will I ever play it? I don't know.
It's one.
You
It's
should,
one of
though.
those. Yeah, it's one of those double-edged swords that we keep going back to. You know, it's like you have access to all these great games for next to nothing, but you don't have time to play them. You know, because there's so
Exactly.
many of them that are cheap.
Yeah. Luckily, I could play them on the Vita, so I mean, it is slightly more likely, but
Yeah.
still, I gotta, you know, just be
I-
honest with myself and say, okay, it's probably gonna
really-
be a while before I play Wild Arms.
I really liked Wild Arms 1. I started Wild Arms 2 and got through the prologue part, and then I kind of wasn't feeling it, so I put it back up. But I really did enjoy Wild Arms 1.
Cool. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
Yep.
I don't have a favorite movie, but I can think of some good ones.
Whoa. How do you not have a favorite movie?
I don't know, man.
Do you just not
Are
watch
movies not
many
your thing?
movies?
Nah, movies have never been my thing, but
Oh, okay, well that makes sense then. Well, go ahead and give me some good ones,
Yeah.
and we'll tell you if you're
Re-
right or wrong.
recently I watched the Berserk movies based on the manga or anime.
Are these the ones that take place after the series?
A bit, but
Okay.
they're full movies on the story shown in the series. So
Okay.
it's pretty much the same thing, but there are 3 full movies of it. So, and I don't know, something just felt very cool about them because they were very high budget movies. But also, I always loved the first Spider-Man movie from the trilogy.
Oh, the Sam Raimi ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know,
there we
but
go.
but the first one was very good for me, and I had this giant ass poster which I got from. It was very early in the morning, and I was on my way somewhere. I can't remember, but I stopped right in the way because I saw this big poster, and some guy was taking it down from. It was a merchandise piece, and he was taking it down to throw it away. And I asked him if I could have it, and it's like it was my whole wall. That big it was.
Oh, that's
but,
awesome.
But I got it, and I put it up, and I had it there for years. And it was from the first Spider-Man movie, and which I did enjoy a lot, and I have recently watched when I got the poster. So I don't know,
Well,
that movie means a lot to me. So maybe that would be
That
my
could be an
favorite one.
acceptable answer. Yeah, so we can go with that. I know, Chance, you're actually you like the new Amazing series, right?
I haven't seen the second one, but I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, I don't necessarily, you know, I don't hate any of the others. I mean, I didn't really care for Spider-Man 3, but who did? But I really liked 2. I thought 2 was great.
Yeah.
The
2 was
original
cool.
2. And 1 was great too. I mean, but yeah, I liked the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was really depressed when I heard they stopped number 4 and we're gonna reboot it, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
I love the
I would
original.
agree. Like, I thought it was kind of unnecessary to reboot it so soon. I mean, so yeah, in that respect, I guess it's kind of lame. But I mean, for just a movie's sake, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd be totally all right if they'd reboot Transformers.
That you know who I'm trying to think of to direct it. Come on.
Guillermo del Toro?
Yes, get him to do it.
I want him to do Dune. He's got to do Dune.
He can do all of it, man. I think
He
he's
can't do
helping
it.
with. I think
He's
he's
not-
helping with the World of Warcraft movie. I want to say I thought his
Well,
name attached to it. Him
They
and-
just announced Pacific Rim 2, so
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so stoked.
he's got 5 years ahead of him.
That's going to be awesome.
Yes.
That's one
So-
movie I have to see, actually.
Yeah,
Pacific Rim.
you do. Pacific Rim is fantastic.
I've been on a mech kick, and I've recently started with some Gundam action thanks to Dustin and Alex. So far, I'm like 12 episodes into. Is it just Gundam Wing, the first
Yeah.
American one over here?
Oh, so good.
So it's
And then when you get
Right.
done with that, make sure you watch the Endless Waltz.
okay. That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
please
ask.
do.
Is the movie after the
Yeah.
series?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I had only seen G Gundam, and everyone pretty much gives me
Oh,
crap
that's
for
my
it
favorite
because-
one.
Yes, I have someone who Well, it's the only one I watched.
Speaking of posters, G Gundam is one of the other bigger posters that I have on my wall, and it's still up to this date. So
let me explain why I thought it was cool. Because I liked how in G Gundam they're actually controlling their mechs with their bodies. It's not like you're holding controls and doing it. So I thought that was so cool.
You just like it because it's like a one-on-one fighting thing, right?
Oh, I really love the story in it, the love story in it, and the ending. With that final battle, oh my goodness, the music that's playing, it's so powerful.
That's the shitty thing is like all this talk about anime, and I've been wanting to get back into Gundam, and I want to get I have Robotech, but I want to get the original Macrosses, and it's like you go on Amazon or eBay and you look at this shit, and it's like $300 for the entire Macross season, or if you want
holy smokes,
if you want Gundam 0079, it's like $150, and it's like, why don't they re-release this stuff? And
I never understood why series and movies were so expensive.
Yeah,
it's very weird because it's often just like an hour or two of something, and then you're done with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to hate it because when Dragon Ball Z ones would come out, it'd be 4 episodes, and they'd want $30 for the DVD. I'm like, what?
And that's the thing that drives me nuts. How many times has Dragon Ball Z been re-released on DVD and Blu-ray? It's like this is like the 5th time they've redone it on for home media.
We have to mention that though. Everyone here likes Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yes, we all love. We all love Dragon Ball Z.
Good.
I don't like the mechanization behind it. What's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. I just drew a blank.
Idea.
I don't like the
You lost me when you said you don't like something about DBZ. So
but no, they released the season sets, and then they released the Kai sets, and then they released the Blu-ray sets, and then they released the Blu-ray Kai sets. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
The Kai one is so weird for me because one of the best things for me in Dragon Ball Z was the music, and it has the Japanese score in Kai.
Yeah, the dub was even worse. Like the Kai dub was just dumb.
And didn't they change Vegeta's voice in Kai? Oh, yeah, we can't have that. All
the voices are different, I think.
Oh, yeah. Vegeta's was the best voice.
I mean, I'm okay with exercising the filler. I'm okay with that, but I don't know why they had to change everything in it.
So who's seeing no one cheated and saw the new movie yet, right? Like, you're going to wait for theaters, or who's going?
If I can find a theater,
actually.
If I can find a theater around me that has it and find somebody that will go with me, I will go.
Oh, I will solo that, even though I'm sure I'll have someone to go with. So many DBZ fans here.
But I never saw the live action movie, and I think I'm glad that I didn't, because I heard it was really bad.
I saw it for a birthday thing, and it was so bad I had to watch another movie afterwards to rinse the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip that.
And the other movie afterwards wasn't that good either. It was Observe and Report, that Seth Rogen mall cop movie.
I've never seen that either. I'll skip that one too.
I mean, it had its moments, but
that's the weird thing about DBZ though. Is I loved the series, but I could never really get into the movies.
Yeah, I like the 2 cooler movies. I thought those were both great, but I've seen several others that I just didn't care for either.
The only ones I liked was the history of Bardock, or however you say his name, and the history of Trunks. Those 2 were amazing, and then everything else I'm like, I don't care.
That Trunks one was so sad. That's what made that great.
That Trunks one was awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted the Broly ones to be really cool because I thought he looked cool, but I didn't care for them either.
Yeah. Yeah, the movies are a different thing, so I'm still excited though. It's nice to see something. I know it was last year in Japan, but it's nice to see something new and fresh over here.
Wait till we eventually get Corn Muffin on here, and he can talk all jaded about shit because he's already had it for a year. He's like, it's so exciting, it's coming out. He's like, yeah, I've had it.
As they get their now 3DS copy of Dragon Quest X, we still can't get.
Fuck them.
Console.
Have Corn Muffin played Dragon Quest VII on the 3DS? I have to ask if anybody knows.
I didn't ask if he has or not.
He really should, though.
Yeah. If he gets to enjoy it, he might as well.
He's more into the more hardcore, kind of darker RPGs, so I don't know
that's right.
how big of a Dragon Quest guy
hardcore enough for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he plays those or not.
All right, now.
He's got some Dragon Quest stuff, but I don't know if he plays.
Yeah. Favorite
to Corn Muffin, though. He's really cool.
Oh, yeah. he was the other one dominating everyone in Street Fighter on the game.
Yes. Oh my God, that Dan,
With
dude.
Dan.
I know.
Oh my God.
Him and Senkai had the good battles. I think we got some of their matches recorded because I think you guys were just playing each other for a while. And I think
we had 2 matches or something, but it was really fun.
Chance is ready for you guys though. Now he's got his stick. He's been practicing. He's ready.
I actually haven't played in a couple of weeks, so I'm sure if I picked it up right now, I'd be incredibly rusty.
And I know it's off topic because we still got a question to ask Kevin, but Evo's this weekend. Hope everyone's excited. Watch it.
Oh, man.
Dustin, you should at least watch the grand finals and see all the hype that happens on Sunday.
Well, that's the thing is like I'm kind of busy, so it's hard for me to sit down and watch this shit.
And Chance, Maximilian's going to be on the next Excellent Adventures.
Oh no, I'm so excited! I'm like, when I saw that, I was like geeking out. I was like, holy crap!
I know, so I just need to put. I almost want to buy the versions now just to watch it. But anyway,
I watched the last when Mike was on Max's channel, and that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And how they were talking, Mike was like, "Yeah, you should come down, so you can be on the Excellent Adventures." And then, like a month later, here it is.
Mike is awesome.
Yeah,
that last Excellent Adventures ended so good when he ran back with Guile and Gutex couldn't beat the guy. That was classic. Anyway, and I think I just saw Gutex got eliminated already today.
Oh,
Chance.
bummer.
That's kind of sad. But anyways, favorite recording artist.
Favorite what?
Recording artist, like a singer,
bands.
like band, music. Do you listen to music, or are you just game music type of guy? Yeah.
Mostly game music, but
Man, this Zenkai is a game master over there. Game music,
all games,
playing video
all
games.
yeah, all game for me. But Michael
Yeah.
Jackson is excellent.
Yes, I'll take Michael Jackson.
No
Is that
comment.
acceptable, Dustin?
No comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
As you eat your dinner.
I'm not eating my dinner. I was actually
Or,
mid beverage.
Okay.
to be honest, now that I'm thinking of it, my favorite band is a band called TNT.
Never heard of him.
But when you said like a person, I wasn't thinking of them. I was only thinking of a certain person, and that's why Michael Jackson came to mind.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but
Okay.
actually, my favorite band is TNT. So
What
that
kind of
should be
music
the
are
answer.
they?
It's rock from glam rock from the 80s and 90s.
Hey, I like some
Okay.
glam rock. Glam rock's awesome. The Darkness is one of my favorite 90s.
Darkness.
Listen,
I
a
believe
thing called love isn't like what a lot of their songs were.
Well, it's
They're
the
saying-
only song that matters when you say the darkness.
One Way Ticket to Hell was my favorite CD album they did, and that was their second one, which got no love. But anyways,
I didn't even know they had another album. I
Yeah,
thought
I
that was
don't
it.
get it either.
they got like 3 or 4, man.
Oh, I thought they just had the one, and then that was it.
No. So,
But this topic is so weird for me because my dad has played in bands all my life, and I've seen him go and play on tourneys and everything, but I never myself listened to that kind of music too much, and mostly listen to game music, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
There is kind of a rebellion against like what your parents do. Even if your parents do something cool,
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
they're in a band, you're like, fuck bands, you know.
okay. Now we can move on to some other stuff.
Oh, we're done with music? Crap.
Yes, we're done. We got to move on.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
And because I got another question for Senkai that is burning in everyone's mind. Is that your real hair color?
What, really?
Is it your real hair color?
No, it isn't.
What is your original hair color?
Um,
If you don't mind saying.
It's some kind of mix between blonde and brown that a lot of people in Sweden have, which I don't know the name of, but
Steven
thought
just turned this podcast into a People magazine.
Listen, because I thought I saw a picture with you on your Facebook with like a orangish goatee, and I was like, if you were like a redhead or something before, there is no way I could ever picture you like that. I could not see that. I was like, so I was just curious, and if you had
it's
an original
so fucking
picture
weird
like
though
that-
because my beard is red.
that is weird.
I have a friend who has brown hair, but when his beard grows in, it's bright red. Yeah.
Same here.
It's
Part
Then I
ginger.
guess.
Okay,
Then you should grow a beard and be proud of that red hair.
Sure.
Damn it.
it'll go great with the very dark black.
Black and red, that's the color.
All right, let's answer some questions here. We might do things a little bit differently tonight, everyone. We'll see how it goes because we posted on the Facebook page to answer some questions, and people asked multiple, which is cool. But in all fairness of time, we might only do a select few. We'll go through them. But first and foremost, we'll start off with a question that was on the YouTube page from a first-time subscriber, and I actually left it. I posted the question down there, and then I forgot to get the guy's name of who asked it. Let's see. Chester Copperpot.
Chester Cobblepot
Copperpot.
Chester Copperpot.
is the fucking penguin. Oh no. I was thinking Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, you're off.
Chester
man.
Copperpot is the Goonies.
Is the guy that went. Yeah, Goonies. Yeah, I just watched that the other night too. Fuck.
He was a new sub, so I was like, we got to answer his question. And he said, what innovations would you guys like to see or think that we will see that truly make the new generation stand out from the old, aside from better graphics, bigger open worlds, and more gameplay features? Keep up with the great content. And now that I read that, I don't know what else they could add. more multiplayer features. Okay, I thought I said gameplay features.
Well, there's this whole Oculus Rift thing, and this whole VR thing. It's like the 3DS and 3D televisions. And I wonder if Oculus and the VR headsets are going to go the way of like 3D, where it was like everyone's like, I got a game in 3D, and then now it's like people don't even give a shit about 3D anymore. You know, are we going to spend all this money on these Oculus headsets, and then like a few months down the road, like no one even cares about it anymore?
I still don't even think that. I think you can buy those now, but I don't think it's ever going to be a thing where consumers are going to say, "Sure, I'm going to get that." It just seems so like it's going to be so much money to buy one of those things.
Yeah,
I couldn't even see a game
try
get
one,
designed around it.
but I've never been big on first-person games, so I don't know.
that's the thing too. Like everything has to be first person with it, and it's I like a first person game every now and then, but sometimes you want something a little different.
I don't think we're going to see anything that makes it stand out, except
You
for
think-
prettier.
You think we've done everything we can?
Unless you do something like you were saying with the VR,
Yeah.
or I'm getting an echo, but we're going to just talk to it.
Star Trek Holodecks,
It's
where you're in the game.
that ain't happening this generation. But I don't know, because he eliminated, besides bigger open worlds and more multiplayer, and I think everything is going to go a lot heavier into multiplayer, and not that it's being, say, like online, like Call of Duty, but more along the lines like how Destiny's doing it. I think you're going to be able to start like a MMO type style. You're going to have a huge world to explore, and you can see your buddy like exploring it too. And that doesn't mean you have to play together. I could see that happening on consoles, but again, that's a multiplayer thing. As far as something,
are getting very popular too.
yeah. And as far as things for a single player game, I actually see this generation maybe taking more of a step back as far as borrowing more from the old classics, like how we're seeing, I don't know if we like to count Wii U as next gen, but it looks like it's taking the new Zelda back to more old school Zelda. So I'd like to see just games coming out that borrow more from what worked in the past and not keep rewriting things for the future of, well, this worked in, I don't know, I'm drawing a blank now. Like Infamous. Like we've seen Infamous, how many games are there for? And Dustin, you love the new one.
Yeah.
But you're pretty much doing the same thing in all of them. Exploring an open world with powers.
Yeah.
So not a lot of innovation in them, but I don't know. I just like to see things take a
Steven,
step
I think
back.
you're into a very, very good thing here, because when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One was announced, me and Mario was discussing how little a difference it is to the previous generation, because the jump from The Last of Us to, say, Infamous Second Son, it's not too much of a difference there.
Yeah.
When it comes to gaming. I mean, like, you can compare high-end, like, very powerful PlayStation 2 games, and you will still see a extremely big difference with the games that came out, release games for PlayStation 3. It's a huge leap there, but I don't know if it's going to be that much different. So when you said that they should try to do new things, or, like you said, old things.
And it's weird because, or keep going.
It might
if you're not
change
done.
things up. I think it's good for them to try do something new by taking more old stuff, because they need to do a big change, because gaming are just going to feel like old generation, not doing anything new.
Yeah. And we'll let Chance get a say in here, but now before I forget it, you look back at what's been popular over the past few years, the games that have made headlines. Walking Dead, The Journey, Last of Us, got lots of rave. These games that really have powerful stories is what's driving to get all the acclaim. So I think what we need to look for this generation continuing, just give us more story that's just great storytelling. And like a game like Journey, the story was told through the gameplay. Like I think that's what people are really praising a lot these days. So just give us more of that. Chance, what do you think, man?
I think like one thing that like you mentioned, like The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us and things like that. And I think that there'll be other things too. Like I know there's like the Borderlands one coming too, like the Telltale style games where I think in some degree things will come out more episodically, you know, and like more like a subscription thing, like not necessarily like DLC where you get a game that's incomplete and then you have to keep adding DLC. Not necessarily like that. But
I get you.
You know, you get smaller chunks. You know, you pay up front if you want to, or you can jump in, you know, halfway through if you want to, and kind of experience things at a slower pace. And
That's interesting.
It gives the gamer a chance to kind of let it rest after you've played the first section, and then, you know, talk about it with people, or read reviews, watch reviews, whatever, make your own reviews, and then everybody can, you know, at the same time is kind of looking forward to the next installment, as opposed to, you know, waiting 5 years.
Very interesting,
yeah. So I think like that's like a way that, you know, it's not necessarily anything new. It's not like a new concept per se. I mean, you know, TV does this, you know, like with miniseries and things like that, and you know, and television shows and things like that everybody kind of watches at the same time and experiences at the same time. But you can also, you know, once it's over, you know, then they release the whole package for the person who doesn't want to do that. They just want to get it and play it all in one go. And, you know, and you could do the same thing with, you know, TV shows. I keep going back to that, but, you know, you could buy the series and watch it all, you know, at you know, in one sitting if you want to. So I think that like something like that would be really, really interesting, even for, you know, any kind of game, any style of game.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Why would you mention that? BioShock came to mind.
I was going to say Burial at Sea. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's just a brilliant thing.
Yeah, because I remember. I was going to say, I remember getting to the end of the Burial at Sea Part 1, and everyone's like, holy shit! And you had that, like, that water cooler moment like you have with TV shows. Like, can you believe what happened on last night's episode?
Exactly. And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I mean, you know, Ken Levine, since we're talking about BioShock, has talked about how he wants to work on smaller projects, but he also wants to work on very narrative-driven projects. Mm-hmm. And like that is like, I mean, I think like the DLC for Infinite showed him how he could do like this episodic sort of game like this. So I mean, everyone's talking about, you know, kind of worried about what he's going to make, but I'm not, because I know that, you know, through these DLCs that he's done, he knows how to make these shorter, very compact, but very powerful moments in these games. So I you know, it's going to be really exciting to see that kind of thing come to fruition. And RPGs are like custom designed for that kind of thing. I mean, you know,
Dimensions, was that all in one or in episodes? Could you buy it all?
You could buy it all in one, and you can buy it in episodes. And you know, I chose to buy it all in one because I knew I was going to play it. But if you just wanted to buy,
are we talking Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy Dimensions,
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I didn't know. Yeah, you could buy it by the chapter, or you could buy it as like one big book. And so
the same goes for the After Years, right?
Yeah, the After Years is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's interesting, because now I'm thinking about it. The only downside, it would be more than likely they'd all be digital. But I'm going toward. It's kind of weird how, man. And I was going to say this later, but I'm really getting into the PC Master Race, because I can play like any game I want on that thing right now if I want. I was talking about how I'm playing Dragon Quest VIII for PS2 on there. You can pop the disc in, and it's in like HD. It looks beautiful, and I don't know why I'd ever want to put it in a PS2, because it just looks so good on here. But I mean,
You're lucky starting with a game that's cel shaded because those are games that works the best and also looks the best. But
Final Fantasy 12,
yeah.
I had that in there too. That looked great to me, and it just I don't know. And you can emulate anything on there from old school, or if you got a PSP laying around. I mean, there's your emulation device.
PSP is fucking amazing.
But I'm just thinking about how cool it would be if every 3-4 months I had a new like 5-hour BioShock thing I could play.
I know, right?
That'd be really neat. So,
but even like indie games too. Like I have high hopes, like even for like a To the Moon sequel. Where it's not really like like a full on retail game, but it's like it's such an amazing experience, and you're just craving the next installment. Stuff like that. Yeah. It doesn't have to be even as big time. As like a BioShock.
And I think that
something.
Alan Wake could finally come back. An episode like each month. I don't know.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing too. Like we are always worried about like production costs and localization costs, and that could possibly be something that drives that down. Maybe if the games were shorter, and they only came out like once every 5 months. I mean, it would definitely lower the translation times for these games. Maybe not necessarily the cost, but it'd be easier for them to churn them out. Maybe.
But Dustin, think if those guys who doesn't have too much money do what you just said, it would be so funny if one game never got finished, like a TV series has.
Well, that's. I mean,
yeah.
That would be so sad if like, say, a great game, Final Fantasy VI, and you play to the third part of the game where everything gets super amazing, and the game never finishes. Wouldn't that be?
Well, I will
really sad?
I agree with you because right now my girlfriend and I are watching Freaks and Geeks, and anyone who's ever watched the TV show Freaks and Geeks knows the heartbreak of that show ending. But conversely, I will then sucker punch you with Trails in the Sky because
that's right.
those games are all done, and we're still never going to see them. So,
but you still had a great time finishing it anyway, right?
Finishing the first one, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. I see.
But the story continues. So it's kind of the same situation. So
and I fucking love Shenmue 2, so I'm no one to say anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said I'm playing Shenmue, so you should understand that heartache.
All right.
I'm really surprised there hasn't been a Shenmue 3 yet. I mean, even if it's just digital.
So fucking weird, man.
It's so weird. Everybody wants it, and it's like, nah, never mind.
Have they released like 9 or 10 Yakuza games now? And not a Shenmue 3?
Yeah, that's good enough.
Is it the same company?
Sega, but I don't know. It's not the same developer, though.
That's what I meant.
I thought Yu Suzuki was behind Yakuza series, isn't he?
Is he?
I think he is.
I've never
it's
played
Sega anyway,
series,
so
right. But wasn't Shenmue like AM2? But they closed that studio, didn't they?
Yeah, right. It's
Shenmue
not the
2,
same
AM2,
studio, but I think it's the same guy behind.
Same guy
the
behind.
ID.
Well, that makes sense.
All right, moving on to another question.
Oh yeah, that was only one question.
Do we have y'all got your Facebook page open too?
Well, I actually had one more thing that I think we'll see a little bit more of.
Go ahead.
I don't think it'll really catch on necessarily, but I think people or companies may try to do it a little bit more. Is with like I can't even remember what they're called now, but the new Nintendo figures, Amiibo, like more like peripherals like that. Like I think it's especially for games aimed at a younger audience. I think that it's possible we could see like more of those type of things that are both a physical experience and also a game experience.
Cool.
I
also have one more thing to say about the last question because we went overboard and I totally forgot about the question.
Go ahead.
But okay, so I was just quickly thinking about 3 games which were my favorites of last generation. And the first that came to mind were most of all Xenoblade and Tales of Vesperia, but also Nier. But those 3 games are games that could easily be made on the PlayStation 2, just in lower resolutions and more discs, with no problem. So I don't know if my favorite games are games that doesn't have anything to do with the hardware at all. I don't know. if they just keep doing great games like that, I don't know if they have to do any new stuff like Amiibo or whatever it was called,
Yeah.
or Skylanders and
Yeah.
such. They could just keep doing the same thing, but it still has to feel new. But I don't know. My best memories with Last Generation were, as I said, Xenoblade and Tales of Vesperia, and those are very classic style games. So I don't know.
Permission to move on. Can I get
Granted.
Okay. No,
Absolutely.
man, there's so many questions on here. I will. I can almost answer all of Mike's really quickly. But we won't do that. But these are questions from the Facebook page. And first, we will start off with Aerodynamish, who asked 5 questions.
Ugh, what an asshole.
Euro. Woo!
I think we can answer some of his pretty quick. We're rolling through them. Which RPG series have you played the most games in total?
Shit.
Mine would. It'd either be Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, and I'm probably leaning towards Final Fantasy because there's just been more of them.
Final Fantasy is such a lame answer, seriously.
I want that. I mean, there's like honestly, like Square Enix, like just shits that stuff out, you know, and there's only been 10, Dragon Quest, and half of them we didn't even get over here in the States until recently. So
That's right.
you know,
Mine's Final Fantasy as well.
I don't
Chance. Yours is probably Pokemon, isn't it?
know. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that, but yeah. I've played a lot of Final Fantasy games, but there's been several that I started and never finished, so
Yeah.
I don't really count all of them necessarily. So yeah, probably Pokemon.
And Senkai.
The obvious answer is the Tales of series, where I played like about 15 or more games. But then I actually remembered that the Castlevania series is a lot of games.
Ooh.
And that
True.
series might actually be the best answer because the Castlevania games are around 20 games too. So
He did say JRPG.
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry if I didn't clarify.
sorry. Obviously Tales of series then.
Okay. Cool. I'll skip that one. How hard is it for you guys to find getting back into retro JRPGs after playing the streamlined autosave, suspend quests, fast loading ones of today? I find it very tough. I'm spoiled by this new generation of RPG. I have found it tough to go back to play older ones like a classic like Final Fantasy VI and stuff like that. I admit it.
I have absolutely no trouble. That's my golden age. So when I do eventually throw in a PS1 or a Super Nintendo RPG, like that's like going home to me. So it's fine.
Same here. I have to say the same thing. It goes hand in hand with what I talked about money before. Like how if I spend more money, I take the game more seriously. And it's the same if I die in a game and there's no retry or something like that. I take it a lot more seriously. So for me, it's also a good thing. No problem there.
And let's hear from Chance, who plays Ultima Exodus. How hard is it for you to get into retro RPGs?
Not hard at all. They are among my favorites. So but I do, really love, the newer ones too, and appreciate the auto saves and things like that. But yeah, definitely played a lot more games where there was a lot more consequences for not going back to that inn just one more time before moving on.
I say it again, the PSP is fucking amazing.
It really, I mean, that's so funny how like when it came out, everyone kind of trashed it, but now everyone's like, this thing's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
PSP rocks. It's so cool how you cannot pause the game when the console is turned on. If you press home, it doesn't pause the game, but you can always pause it by turning the system off.
Yeah.
And just turn it on again.
What is the least talked about, most obscure JRPG you've played?
Oh,
I think one that, since the number of that I've played isn't as grand as some of yours, I would say probably still that Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans ones. I think it's getting word now, but for me personally, that's the most obscure.
I still
Is that the
haven't
one
seen
for
a lot
Super
of people.
Nintendo?
It's for DS.
Yes.
Whoa, cool. Never heard of
And
it.
it's like dirt cheap now. Remember we paid like $60-$70 for that?
What?
It's like
How
dirt
much?
cheap. It's like $20 now.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get it now.
Yeah, go get it.
And I want to say it was Monolith Soft who did it, right? Or someone did it.
It
Yeah,
was.
I think
I think
you're
it was.
right. I think it was
Monolith,
Monolith.
yeah.
Yeah, Monolith. So, Next,
The most obscure, man. I mean,
uh,
I already know what Chance's answer is.
that PS3 one. What was it? Time and Eternity.
Yeah, that
People
got a
know
lot.
about it, but it's
People know about it, but no one would play it because everyone thought it was horrible. But it's actually, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't know. That might be it. I might have to think about it a little bit more, but
What was
anyone
my
can think of
answer?
in this one.
I was going to say your answer would be Ultima because no one talks
Yeah.
about Ultima anymore.
I was going to say definitely Ultima Exodus, probably, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's as popular of a series as it is. No one really talks about it. Like,
Well, I mean, it's really
it's interesting.
It's kind of been lost to the eons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's quite the buzz right now with the Ultima series because the Shroud of the Avatar, which is a thing from the original creator of
Oh
the
yeah,
Ultima series, Richard
Yeah.
Garriott, has done this huge Kickstarter, which got just way over what they thought they would get or what the goal was, and they're just making this epic game that is going to be the sequel, basically spiritual sequel to Ultima Online. So
Mhm.
I probably won't play it, but it's cool that things like that happen. Like these really popular RPG like the Ultimate series is kind of reborn in this new, multiplayer centric MMO universe that we live in.
Is there any streamlined Ultima game? Like a new one that it's easy to play?
There's an iPad
really.
version of the Commodore 64 version.
Yeah, don't play that one. Don't play
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Now, if you want to try the Ultimate series, you just kind of gotta just jump in at some point. Just pick a point because they're all unique in their own way.
Oh, I
And
see.
it's really. I mean, I've got two of the NES games, and those are the ones I've played the most.
Yeah.
And
they actually-
it's kind of
I was going to say they actually kind of feel a lot like Dragon Warrior 1 in a lot of ways.
yeah they do. It feels a little bit like Dragon
Sign
Warrior
me up.
mixed with a little bit of strategy RPG almost because the combat is
Sign me up even more.
turn-based, and it's kind of it's hard to get into, and like when you're picking a class, you really have to kind of be careful, and you have to do a little bit of research because it's not everything is not necessarily what you think it is. I don't know. I bought a strategy guide for the game, and it doesn't help you at all. It's
Is that the
a
hint
pretty-
book? Is that the hint
Yeah.
book? Because that's what I
Yeah.
have too. Shit, fuck. All right.
yeah. I would suggest if you're going to play at least Exodus, the first NES game, look up at least like a character build model,
All right.
like which classes you should choose to make it the easiest experience, or look up the hardest experience. But
Would you kind of
definitely go with ranged attacks?
Chance? Would you kind of say it feels like an open world RPG?
Yeah, it does because you can go anywhere.
Yeah. So think
pretty
about that,
much.
Senkai. An open world RPG on the NES.
Yeah, you can pretty much go anywhere you want.
Very
but
interesting, actually.
Rest assured, you're going to die if you go somewhere you're not supposed to be at yet. In that sense, it reminds me of like Final Fantasy II, the true Final Fantasy II. Like you could get into a situation where you cannot win this battle and you cannot run away. You are going to die and have to start over. Yeah, it's a pretty
That's
great.
one thing
game.
I have to ask though. Are people still calling Final Fantasy 4 and 6 2 and 3?
I think like us older guys probably still do. Like I've gotten better about it, but sometimes I will say Final Fantasy 3 when I mean 6.
Yeah,
But I think the younger
feel
kids.
like I have to distinguish.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I'm perfectly fine with you calling the game Final Fantasy 3. I'm just so tired of hearing the sentence Final Fantasy 3, which is actually Final Fantasy 6 in Japan.
Well, and
I've heard that like 1,000 times.
It's only recently that I've been able to stop saying Dragon Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like if I refer to Dragon Warrior 3, which is my favorite of the series, I will say Dragon Quest 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's only been recently that I've been able to drop the Dragon Warrior and say Dragon Quest. So it's so weird being
the 3DS then.
Don't start. Actually, I have the 3DS copy. I imported it, but I don't.
One.
Yeah, but I need a Japanese 3DS, and then I need to learn how to speak Japanese.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks.
Get that
Nintendo.
Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
Right. So is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So first, I was thinking about that Sonic Chronicles game.
Oh, Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah, but that one isn't too obscure since we all know about Super Mario RPG and Sonic and Mario are at the same level, so I don't think it's very obscure. What I think would be my answer is Rockman X Command Mission.
Oh, there you go, Steven.
Yeah,
He's
what
playing it
I'm
right now.
Because
now.
I don't know, it feels so random. Because it's not a franchise by its own, it's the X series,
Yeah.
Yep.
which has always been very heavy on the story for me at least, so it was very awesome to have a JRPG game in the series. But it's still very odd at the same time.
And people
Oh,
fussing
I
about
gotta-
13 being linear, don't play Mega Man X Command Mission because that's all it is.
I
But
got,
you know-
I got an even more obscure one. I've played Serious Sam: The Random Encounter. It is a
That's
turn-based RPG in the Serious Sam universe.
Wow.
It is hilarious.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I actually thought of a better answer too, and I don't know if any. I mean, possibly the only person that's played it here is maybe Senkai, because of his love of the PSP, and maybe Alex Return to Mother Base because he loves UMD so much.
Yeah, heard that.
Popo LaCroix.
Oh, stop.
What?
Before you say anything else, do you know how this, every time we mention Alex, we always say Alex Return to Mother Base? Like we don't just say Return to Mother Base anymore.
Well, that's his last name. His last
Yeah.
name is Return to Mother Base.
Okay. Continue.
Popo LaCroix. Have you ever heard of this?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I played it. I never finished it, but it's like for like people who like Earthbound, it has that weird like quirkiness that Earthbound has.
I'm
Dude,
looking
art
at it
style
right
reminds
now.
me of nothing else than the game itself. It's very unique.
Yeah,
Crack
But-
Lotus speaks highly
But
of
do
it.
you really think the game is obscure?
I have never heard any. I mean, I've heard people like I've seen it in pickup videos, but I've never seen anyone really talk about the game.
I never hear anyone talk about it.
It's kind of one of those forgotten RPGs,
But it was released in North America, was it?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are we only talking about like obscure like import ones? I mean,
No, just he said
No,
obscure.
since
Yeah.
over here it's not popular by any means, but I know America's a much bigger place, so if it was released over there, it should be more popular than this.
But,
So
but
I was just asking.
JRPGs aren't a big thing over here, though.
yeah, that's the
Oh,
thing.
I see.
Yeah.
It's a very big thing over here.
No, not here.
See, that's such a weird thing because like Europe has always gotten like awful distribution with JRPGs. It's so crazy how like it's so rabid over there for it. But like up until like recent years, I mean like the Super Nintendo era, you guys basically got nothing.
We got Terranigma.
Well, oh yeah, shit, fuck that. I forgot about that. The one RPG they did get, we didn't get over here. That's funny.
And if you can find Popo LaCroix, how do you say it? I don't even know how to pronounce the
Popo
name.
LaCroix.
Popo
It is
LaCroix.
pretty cheap over here if you can find it. And
Yeah, that's the thing.
speaking of
Like,
Return to Mother Base found me a copy for $2.50.
Oh,
who?
seriously?
Wait, who?
Oh, sorry. Alex Return to
Who we
Mother
talking?
Base.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Now I understand.
I was confused for a minute there. Sorry. I know who you were talking about.
Okay, I got to move on to another question. This is
I
going to take
know.
forever. From Archie Graham, which we can talk about his other one too that he posted. So he was the guy who asked about the Vita TV. What is the RPG or game in general that had the biggest turnaround for you guys? Started out crappy and became one of your favorites, or the other way around? That's tough because if a game starts out bad, how do you really want to stay patient and push through it? But
Please
There
don't
was
thank
a-
me for this,
what-
but my answer is Final Fantasy VII.
so it started off bad, but then you turned around and became one of your favorites. Unless you didn't hear the rest of the question, or do you just don't like it?
No, I love the game, but
Okay.
I had a very hard time enjoying it because I loved Final Fantasy VI so much, and
Is that the
I
one
played.
that's 3 over here? 3,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is really 6.
I think yeah, Final Fantasy VI is
That's what you
a perfect game, seriously.
Yeah.
And I played Final Fantasy VII for around 9 to 10 hours, and I got the impression of it being a lot like Final Fantasy 13, where there is no world map. Because 10 hours into the game, I would like to see the world map at least once. But
Oh, yeah,
since
yeah.
I didn't watch any videos back then, I wasn't on the internet too much. So I really thought it was a super linear game, very, very close to where you didn't have any freedom at all. And also, you didn't have a lot of customization because you don't have a lot of materials in the beginning of the game. But as soon as you get out of Midgar, it becomes an entirely different game.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got past that part and actually played the game for real, I couldn't stop playing it. And it's amazing.
I think for me, it could be kind of a cop-out answer. Just to stick in the RPGist type realm, because he said it could be any, but I'll stick with RPG. First, getting into World of Warcraft. I've never used this for a lot. Because when you start off as a lowly level 1, you don't have much going on. MMO can be quite boring by yourself, low level, not doing anything. But then, when you get leveled up and you start grouping up with people, I mean, the game just, it takes over your life. So, at first, it was my friends playing it around. I'm like, how could you even get into this? It looks so boring. Till I started playing it, getting leveled up, and getting up with them, playing together, doing dungeons and raids. And then it was just, like, to this day, one of the greatest gaming experiences of my life. So that'd probably be mine.
Sweet.
BioShock.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot. You did not like that the first time you played it.
I did not like it. I did not like it at all. I could not get into the story at all. I couldn't get into the setting even. And I just didn't like the control, like the way it played, the combat. I just didn't get it, I guess. And put it down and picked it up several months later, and it is amazing. It is one of my favorite games now. So I'm glad that I restarted it and stuck with it because it is brilliant.
Me too. And too bad we'll never get to experience BioShock Vita. If it was going to be a turn-based strategy game, I'm so sad.
That sounded so awesome when he said that.
Indeed.
What about you, Dustin? In 5 years, you're going to say Dark Souls, but what are you going to say today?
This is the thing. Here's the thing. I've given that series 2 tries now with Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2. There is no going back to that series.
It's not happening.
That's not happening. Actually, I don't know so much about, because I'm looking at it right now, started out shitty. I can't say it started out shitty, but when it started out, I wasn't too... I was like, all right, this is cool, but I don't get, why everyone's so rabid about it. And then, of course, by the end of the game, I'm sitting here now with 4 copies of the game in my collection, and that game is Nier. It didn't start out shitty by any means of the imagination, but, it is kind of it's a hard game to pin down because when you look at it on a technical level, it's not that great. The combat's kind of repetitive and all this other stuff. But by the end of the game, it's such an experience that is just overwhelming. And here I am with 4 individual copies of the game, in my collection. And it started off sort of a mediocre, average area, and then just exploded into one of my favorite games of all time. So that's probably... I can't think of any game that started off shitty that eventually became great, because if a game starts off shitty, I usually stop playing it. You know?
You don't really keep pushing through.
I don't have time for that shit. So, yeah.
We're not angry video game nerd wanting to complete it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. And I hope everyone doesn't mind, since it's a Facebook page. It is everyone's real name, so I'm going to be using your real names. If you're on YouTube, I'm sorry if I don't remember your YouTube name. But Matt Blake had several questions he asked. And I think the one that I said, and again, we apologize, but just for time, we're just going to try to pick here and there which ones. Do you think, this pops out to me because of what happened with Drakengard 3, do you think reviews could have destroyed the gaming industry if they were big back in the NES, SNES, N64 era, given how many middle-of-the-road games there were? So do you think reviews could have destroyed the gaming industry?
There must have been reviews back then.
Because he said back in the day, I guess there were a lot of... If there were middle-of-the-road games, there were...
Yeah. There were reviews back then, but they weren't as prevalent as they are now with the internet. You had to buy a magazine to read these reviews.
Yeah.
And, a lot of our reviews came from Nintendo Power. And if it was a Nintendo game, it pretty much got perfect scores. Yeah. You know what I mean? So...
they didn't talk about the shovelware.
Right. And there are games that I played as a kid, like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which, by the way, I love Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. That
Thank you, Dustin.
would have got shit scores, absolute garbage scores in today's reviewing world. Hell, even Breath of Fire probably would have got meandering scores. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it would destroy the industry, but I think a lot of the games that we love as a kid, like I loved Elevator Action, I loved Tiger Hilly. What are some? Chance loved Wizards and Warriors.
That is an amazing game. Watch your mouth.
Honestly, would Wizards and Warriors have got a great score nowadays? No, it would have got the shit kicked out of it. So I think there was a great thing about going to a rental store and just picking a game. And I can't tell you how many times I rented Elevator Action. I loved that game as a kid. And there was just a sense of discovery then that I don't think with the review system we have now and just the prevalence of internet reviews, I don't think we have that anymore.
Well, different things meant more too. Like box art really sold video games.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Look at the Atari 2600.
Yeah, exactly. Like different things mattered more. So it's like the reviews weren't as frequent, I guess, because internet wasn't there. So yeah, shit games got put out. I mean, there's a lot of bad games on the Atari systems and Super Nintendo and Nintendo and Genesis and everything pretty much you can think of. There's bad games that the companies wouldn't get away with now because of reviews. Like that company would go out of business. Wizards and Warriors has 2 sequels. They're horrible. I mean, I love the first game, and obviously you don't, but it's got 2 sequels. So somebody liked it well enough that it got 2 sequels that just suck. So,
like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES, you get to the underwater stage, and hardly anybody has beat the swimming stage.
Yep.
And it's like that would have got complete crap scores. We probably never would have saw the arcade game. So it may, maybe, because I think a lot of companies now base what they're going to release on fucking Metacritic, which is completely stupid. Because a game like Drakengard 3 got shit scores, but then you talk to people who play the game and they're like, I fucking love it. You know what I mean?
I think someone posted on our page where they compared the user score to the review score and how the users give Call of Duty. No offense to Chance or anything. They give that
because that's my favorite game series of all time.
But they give that a 3. Reviewers give it a 9. Dragon Guard 3 got like a 4 or a 6 average, 5 to 6 average, and users give it an 8 or higher average. So really crazy. And just to touch on, back in the day, I never even looked up anything about a game in a magazine, even into high school years. I just went to the thrift stores or the pawn shops or just out to the game stores. If I saw something that looked cool, that's how I got it. Like I never went off of any type of reviews back then.
Box art and title.
Yeah, and thinking about it now, if I had a review, I think that probably younger age and stuff, that would have probably affected me. Like, but Mom, this says it's a good game. Mom, it says it's a bad game. And I probably wouldn't have got some of the stuff. I got my most infamous one, my second ever Super Nintendo game I ever owned was that horrible Double Dragon fighting game, like Shadow something. It's a Double Dragon fighter. Just because I thought the box art looked cool. And we were at Kmart, and it was my birthday, $20. I bought it and took it home. And I played the crap out of that game. I mean, now I probably wouldn't want to play it ever again, but back then, I played the crap out of it. And I don't know, just went by box art and everything. So, but it probably would have affected the industry. You got an input, Senkai?
Nah, I just
should have moved on.
Felt very nostalgic over the topic as a whole.
Yeah.
One of my first games that I picked up based on the cover was Secret of Evermore.
Oh, there you go.
Also because it was a import copy and it came with the super region changer or whatever for the console. So not only was the box art very interesting for me, but the box itself, because the North American boxes are different to the European ones. So
I want all you guys to remind me of something, because this is something I want to talk to Senkai later on. I want to talk about what it was like during that era and having to import all that shit, because I couldn't imagine it.
Okay.
Honestly,
Well, I've always been importing like crazy because, I wrote on Facebook a few hours ago, the dollar to Swedish crowns is fantastic. So not only do you have more games to choose from, but you also get them a lot cheaper. So it's a win-win situation for me.
It's so funny when you look at like America from the outside in. It's like we're falling apart, but like if you walk around America, it's like no, we're great, everything's fine. But like the American dollar is just failing across the world. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, a euro is 10 Swedish crowns, and a dollar is 6.
Yeah.
So it's not half the price, but it's very close. So a game for 50 euros or $50, it's a big difference.
So in other words, it's time to move to Sweden.
You're welcome. No, but seriously, when I was very, very young, I found this site called Play Asia. I think they're still around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I imported games from there all the time. So
I just remember like seeing the back of like Electronic Gaming Monthly and GamePro. They'd always have those ads for like the import thing, and it's like you can get Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo for $100, and it's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
that's
There's
cool.
another thing to be said too. Like I think especially when we were kids, like because the internet wasn't a thing and because GameStop wasn't a thing, we just had access to way less games.
That's true.
So we kind of bought and played what was available. So reviews, even if they had been prevalent, may or may not have affected you because you still would have played it because that's what you had available.
Yeah. There is a reason why I've beat Final Fantasy VI 17 times.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's very true.
It's like we got games less often because unless you found someone selling them at a garage sale for really cheap, you just played what you had. So I think that's another reason too that we played a lot of shitty games and just didn't care.
Cool. Moving on.
It's so funny today to hear people talk about a game that is supposed to be bad by scores and stuff that you have very fun memories with.
Yeah.
It's so weird to hear people call it bad when you feel like it was pretty fun or a good game for you.
It's pretty much Steve and I beating up Chance for. We played Wizards and Warriors when Steven was over at my apartment, and we're like, what is he talking about?
Maybe we just needed a sense of direction on what to do in the game. But
maybe we just needed Chance here to.
I love that.
Maybe next time.
I want to play it right now.
We got a podcast to finish.
I could beat it before the podcast is over.
You could. And we're moving on to another question.
Steven.
He says, well, do you want this to be an Arrow episode? Because that's what it's shaping out to be. It says, but he said I should, Matt also said I should kick you out the podcast again if you try to justify a sticker star. I will not do that.
That's Steven. What an asshole.
Yeah.
I hope everyone liked that at the end of the last episode. It was classic.
What, kicking me out or the little
No.
comment?
Using the arrow
Use
clip.
the arrow clip.
Very great.
All right. Sarah asked us one question on my part: which RPG game or series do you find to be overhyped and couldn't get into?
Oh, that's my question.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'll just say Chrono Trigger. I've said it before numerous times. I just didn't know what people saw, and I just kind of got bored with it. We know Dustin's answer. We don't need to hear him talk about it. So, listen, if you want to,
so fucking weird, man.
I want to hear Chance. Chance, what RPG
gotta,
game or series? You need to think.
I gotta think about it a little bit.
All right, Senkai. Then you go.
The Elder Scrolls series, I would say, because for me, I don't know. I said earlier in the podcast that I'm not a very huge fan of first-person gameplay.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I played so many third-person games and JRPGs growing up that
do you even
it means a lot to me to see how the character reacts because I'm very much for story-driven games and I don't really care for like myself too much when I play a game. I want to see what happens in there, and that's why I love new games like The Walking Dead so much because even though I don't watch a lot of movies, or that might actually be the reason. I'm not watching a lot of movies, and that's why I enjoy story in games very much. But
Yeah.
anyway, the Elder Scrolls series is all about your own adventure, and I can't get into that at all. I tried it, and like it's so immersion breaking for me to even lift the item where it starts floating in the air, and I don't know, it doesn't work for me.
I can
Do you-
understand that.
Do you find that you like Western RPGs at all? Like, did you ever play The Witcher or anything like that?
I played Fallout 3,
Okay.
and what I
Dark
did
Souls
enjoy
feels
the
Western,
most.
kinda, and he
Yeah,
loves
it
that.
does. But the best part in Fallout 3 was the story for me. So
Yeah.
nothing that the game did that people like about it did I enjoy. So
Okay.
I could have rather just watched someone else play through the game because I didn't have fun at all with the customization and stuff. The best part for me in Fallout 3 was when you were in this pod thing and dreaming or whatever it was,
Oh yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
around examining the houses. That was really
Like,
fun, but
like the 1950s
that has nothing to
town?
do with your own character, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the least Fallout part of the game. So I really don't know,
But like,
I'd love to play Skyrim sometime because I hear so much great things about it, but I really can't.
see, that's the thing. Like, because you're such a JRPG person, and in a lot of ways, I'm kind of the same way. Where like, I play a JRPG and I just fall in love with it, and then I play like Skyrim. I haven't played in like 3 years. You know, like it takes me a long time to finish these Western RPGs. Like Fable, I don't care about anymore. Like Kingdoms of Amalur, I don't care about it. And I just can't get into like Western RPGs. Like The Witcher, I love the Witcher books, but for some reason, like the game, it's a great game that's made like wonderfully. It's a lot of attention to detail, and I'm really excited for The Witcher 3 for some reason. I don't know why, but for some reason, like The Witcher 2, I started playing it and then I put it up and I just never gone back to it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, there's something about it because it's something that I'm pretty ashamed of, and not being able to enjoy those games as much as other
Yeah,
people do.
I know.
Because I love to discuss them with people, but one thing is that I remember I always have a lot of people around me when I play games, like my girlfriend or friends and whatever. But when I started playing Fallout 3, I was constantly asking all these questions, like, why can I go here? Or why can I do this when there's no point in doing it at all? It's
Yeah.
so pointless. Why can I do all these things? And they're like, it's supposed to be a good thing. It's a positive for the game, and it just takes me out of the experience. It takes me out of the story that I'm able to go to places that I'm not supposed to go to. I don't know.
Do you guys have Dungeons and Dragons over there?
We do, and
Have you ever played it?
yeah, but it's like it's not
kind
the
of the same thing, isn't
mix because in a lot of Western RPGs you get this amazing story presented for you and then just stops and have very bad pacing where you want to know more about the story but you don't get to. But
Yeah.
in Dungeons and Dragons you don't get the same intro to a grand, incredible story as you get in a lot of Western RPGs. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
more about
see-
the gameplay and it's a lot of fun. But when I started playing Fallout, for example, I really want to know what's going to happen in the story, but it was so focused on creating my own character.
Yeah.
But I love creating my own character and having fun in Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
to be honest. But
See, that's such a weird thing because Dungeons and Dragons is such a communal thing. Whereas, like, you think it would like carry over to like these Western RPGs, but it really doesn't.
yeah, but
because you don't.
that's something very, very important. I have to mention that you have to play. For me, at least, I have to play a Western RPG together with someone, even if it's a
Right.
single-player experience. I need somebody to be there to discuss the things that happens in the game for me, because a lot of the memories, best memories in Fallout, for example, was things that you didn't do in your playthrough, and so I cannot discuss it with you like I can with the people who were there watching it when it happened for me.
Yeah.
So when you play Dungeons and Dragons, you experience all these things together, and
Yeah.
it's a memory you share with somebody. And the best memories of me playing Western RPGs are when I had someone other there watching me play, because we have these great memories together. But I don't know.
See-
a lot of more Western RPGs should be co-op
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
I just want to point out
I
something.
don't know, man.
Yeah, I just want to point out something real quick because there's something that happened here that a lot of people don't do. And what Senkai basically just did is make the linearity of JRPG stories a positive. Because you always hear about like Western RPGs because it can be
Choose your own
story.
adventure. Yeah,
It can be a choose your own adventure. But what you miss out on that is again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with TV shows. You miss like the water cooler moments, like, you know, when you talk in Xenoblade about something happening, or in Final Fantasy something happening, it happened to everybody who played that game. Whereas in Fallout, maybe Senkai blew up Megaton, maybe I didn't. You know, you don't have that same kind of water cooler experience with the storyline.
Because that's a good thing. I didn't blow up Megaton.
Yeah,
And
neither
if
did
you
I.
would come to me and say, "Oh, wasn't that the coolest thing?" and I would say, like, "No, I didn't." That's like the biggest mood breaker of them all.
Yeah.
What? You can
You
blow
were
up
trying
Megaton?
to.
You can blow up Megaton, yeah.
Spoiler alerts. Hello? No, I'm just playing.
I was gonna say, how long has that game been out?
And that's
Hold on.
like 5 minutes into the game, also.
Yeah. It's been out for goddamn 6 years. There's no spoiler alert.
I feel like someone else needs to answer this question. Chance still needs to answer it. And Dustin, unless you have one that's out of left field, which would you think is more overrated? Pokemon or the Soul series?
The Soul series.
Even over Pokemon?
Even
You're
over
killing
Pokemon.
me, man. You're
Well,
killing
he
me,
finished
Smalls.
that one.
No, he
No,
didn't.
I didn't
Oh, you
finish.
did?
No.
That's a shame.
Oh,
Well,
that's sad.
in all
Because
honesty,
even in your vid, you admitted you can see what some people get hooked to.
I can see.
The
I can
world.
also see what people get hooked to in Pokemon as well. To me,
True.
like Pokemon and the Soul series are kind of the same thing. I mean, it kind of is.
And an apple tastes just like an orange.
It does if you drink enough. But no, it's the constant grind is what you get addicted to. Like in Pokemon, you get
Now,
addicted.
yes, that is a similarity. You're right.
Yeah, you get addicted. Like that's one of those games where you get addicted to the grind. And the Pokemon is just I gotta catch one more Pokemon. And Dark Souls is just push a little bit further. I mean, that's all it is. There's no story to really either of them. There's the lore of Dark Souls, but there's not like an overarching storyline or anything. You know what I mean? It's I don't know.
Well, there is in Pokemon, but it has nothing to do with the games themselves.
Exactly. And the same thing with Dark Souls.
It is
It's like
all about the anime and the manga.
Hey, no one knew Team Flare was the enemy in Pokemon XY. That came out of left field.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. All right, Chance. Please say something like Mass Effect and cause some rage on
Metal Gear
YouTube.
Solid.
Mass Effect is so fucking good.
Metal
It
Gear
is.
Solid.
you can't. That's not a JRPG.
Oh, I didn't know it was a
It was
JRPG
specifically RPG. I'm sorry. An
Okay,
RPG
well-
that you think's overhyped.
Well, fuck.
Or say
didn't
Lunar.
even-
Say
I wasn't even thinking about RPGs because I saw
Say-
Metal Gear Solid. I'm like, that's it. That's my answer. Crap. I don't know. Whatever. Somebody choose for me.
He said Mass Effect. He thinks Mass Effect is the worst, guys.
I
So
never played it, but yeah, it's the worst.
all right, that's cool if you don't got one. We can move on.
Can you
for time
insert
constraints
the
anyways.
Metal Gear Solid sound? Like when you get noticed? Oh god.
That's up to Dustin. If he wants
That's
to
my
do-
response.
What?
inserting the Metal Gear Solid sound. Well, he doesn't play a lot of Metal Gear either. The sound where you get caught, it's like an alert sound.
I
Yeah,
liked Metal Gear Rising. That was great.
there you go.
That was fun.
All right, and just for time's sake, I might only pick one more question out of the rest who even asked one.
Yeah.
So
We
should
have
we
a
get?
lot of time though.
We do.
I'm good.
When my wife comes into this bedroom to sleep in like an hour and a half, we won't be good.
Well, we still have an hour and a half. Let's go.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's a lot.
Let's see. Just because I haven't seen one from Gary before, are any of us buying Dragon Age Inquisition? I am. Anyone else?
It's
yeah.
like $1.
I think.
Yeah. I haven't even played the first Dragon Age yet. So, I mean, I have Dragon Age 2. So I'll probably pick it up when it's like $8, like I did the other two,
And not
Yeah.
play it.
and not play it.
But you said you might get it, Senkai?
Yeah, well, the thing is, the first game has been on my list to, like, on my backlog for a long time.
Play it.
And, yeah, I started it 2 times, but never really got into it. But very, very recently, a friend of mine like said to me, it's you really have to play the game. Like stop just thinking about it and just do it. So I don't know if this month or next month, but Inquisition will be a really good. What can I say? It motivates me to actually pick up and play the first two because it's kind of a deadline for me, and I work that way. Whenever a new part in a series that I'm interested in is coming out, I actually could play a whole series just for that. So I think the same will happen with Dragon Age because I'm such a huge fan of Mass Effect. So I really have no reason to not play Dragon Age.
Those are BioWare, at least early on, they nailed it with the storytelling in a Western RPG fashion, I believe. Like they can still do the story in it right. So
KOTOR.
Yep. I was playing through some KOTOR on PC a little while back. Good stuff. I'm actually, since it's free to play, I might download The Old Republic and give it a go.
Oh, those games are great.
So, all right, Chance.
Even better if you like Star Wars.
Not buying it.
Not getting it.
Nope.
There we go.
But
Short answer.
But I did think of an RPG that's overrated though.
Go for it.
Earthbound.
There's the thumbs down.
Yeah. Have you played it?
I've played enough to know that I think it's retarded, but that's enough for me.
Wow. He is going for broke. He's going for broke.
Go for broke. Now, if I ever, decide, okay, I'm going to give this a full-on try, because I only played it for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't give it a chance.
I said Chrono Trigger, you said Earthbound. We're going to get
I think
raged.
the reason I feel like it's overhyped is because of how expensive it is.
Yeah.
And how much everybody
stupid.
freaking talks about it. It's like, I don't care anymore. So
Paige is going to be crying during this episode now.
It's just been beaten into the ground so far for me now that I don't even want to play it. But
Way to make a beautiful girl cry, Chance.
Yeah.
Way to make a beautiful girl cry.
You know the battle she's going through right now, and to put that on top of her, man.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. We're going to hammer. Okay. Ty Kim, he asked, what did he ask? I'm sorry, I skipped over Nick's question. I'll answer his first. If he's got, I'm going to pick, who is your favorite companion or sidekick in an RPG?
Easy enough. I can probably answer this one.
Go for it.
Actually, it started off kind of being annoyed by this character, and it goes back to one of the earlier answers I gave, but Grimoire Vice.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. The entire game, and spoiler alert, if you haven't played Nier yet, you're a fucking idiot. The entire game, he's calling Kaine a hussy. And then as you get towards the end of the game, he uses it as a term of fucking endearment, where he's like, hussy. Like I can't even do it. Like the acting is so good. Like, and it just breaks your heart when he calls her that. And you realize the entire time, it's like one of those antagonistic friendships where they really like each other, but they can't show it, so they have to show it by picking on each other. And it completely changes how the characters are. But he also throws out a lot of crazy stuff as you're playing the game anyway. But that scene in Nier really did it for me.
I like characters, sidekicks with the story arc. That's really cool. And it's a newer game, but since it's fresh in my mind, I'm going to go with Alvin in Tales of Xillia. I thought his whole story in that was pretty cool. He was kind of a douche at times, but then just his whole story arc I thought was pretty neat. So,
but you always kind of hated him still. I don't know. Like,
I was the opposite. It's like, I think I'm kind of like with Alvin, how I am with Snow. And like, you hate Snow so much.
I fucking hate Snow.
And I'm a Snow fan, so I don't know. So I'll say Alvin.
I like him a lot too.
Good. Got some Nolan North support here. Going with Snow. You guys, Chance, you got any?
Was it specifically RPG?
They said,
wait.
They did say sidekick in RPG. But
let's open it up. Let's open it up, because I know who he's going to say.
What? Oh, shit. I would have said something different.
What?
Are you going to say Cortana?
I was. I love her.
Cortana.
Oh my god, that's so good. I know you guys so well.
Yeah, Cortana. But I know it's not an RPG, but I couldn't think of one for an RPG. But as soon as I saw Halo on the shelf, I was like, duh.
Hey, or I would have said the herb in Resident Evil series. That's a great sidekick. I mean, there's a bunch of things. No. Or I'd say if RPG, I'd still admit to this day, since MMO experience, I like having a fellow player as my sidekick in games sometimes too. Someone playing with me. I enjoyed Dustin being my partner in Real Reborn. I had a blast.
Never play an MMO with Steven Stevens. You'll never get to do whatever you want.
You will if you want to win and succeed.
He gets hell-bent for leather, and by God, you better be ready for the ride.
I need some copper. Let's go over here. But I want to go. No, we're getting copper.
We need to get this mount now. How long till we get the mount? About 15 more hours.
Oh, can I watch this cutscene? No, skip it. We'll watch them later.
We gotta get this mount.
Go ahead, Senkai.
Seriously, I read that question on Facebook yesterday and I had the best answer ever, and I can't remember.
You forgot it. Oh no,
it sucks. But and the worst thing is that I came up with another one. I forgot it too. But
well, I'm surprised.
I'll go with Drippy in Ni no Kuni. I think it's really cool.
That's cool.
I freaking love Drippy.
Yeah,
but,
that was actually the closest thing to an answer I could think of, even though I haven't finished the game. But I love Drippy.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, that or
Garrus
Vicarian in Mass Effect. I love that character.
Yeah, Garrus was awesome.
He was awesome.
He made me replay the entire series as a female just to get to see more of the character.
Could you marry him? I mean, can you guys get together in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see you get so much more screen time on Garrus if you play the game as a female.
That's the interesting thing
really
about
worth
Mass Effect. Like, everything I've read says if you play the game as Fem Shep, it's so much better.
It's so much better. Seriously, you have to do it if you haven't. It's
see, that's
I'm serious.
Do it.
That is a huge commitment to play through that entire game again.
No, the entire trilogy.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah.
But it might be time to do it. Oh,
I still got to play it the first time, so I'll just.
That is.
I can recommend you because I played them all 4 times in total, and the playthrough with Femship when you went Renegade the full time, except when you're on the ship. So whenever you're talking to squad mates on missions and on the ship, you always go Paragon for all the options all the time, and then you Renegade for everything else. That was the best, and I don't know if that was intentional by the creators, but that playthrough was amazing. So you Paragon the dialogue choices, but you Renegade everything else. Is that what you're saying? The dialogue options with your squad mates.
Okay.
Only.
So it just confuses the fuck out of them.
Because the guys who's really important to you, you get a lot of great cutscenes where they bond together, and you get a lot more dialogue if you're nice to them. But the action scenes, because the second and third game are a lot more action oriented.
Right.
Those scenes are so much better if you go Renegade. So, and you also get enough Renegade scores to not lose anything by being nice to your squad mates. So.
And see, this leads into something else, because I'm looking at the Facebook page right now, and Gary Meacham is asking...
I was gonna ask that question next.
What is our most hype RPG for the next gen? I'm sorry, I saw a brief snippet of just a teaser thing for Mass Effect 4, and my brain literally blew out of the back of my head, because Mass Effect to me is the closest thing I'm ever going to get to an awesome Star Trek game. It is.
Would you like to see space combat in it this time?
I don't know.
Ship combat.
Maybe. I mean, but I don't know. They'd have to do it right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That actually wasn't the next question I was going to answer. I thought you meant Greg Meyer. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Because we were talking about playing the game over again, and Greg asked, "What do we think of video game length these days?" Because it basically seems like all games are really getting really long as far as RPGs. But he's finding as he gets older, he prefers shorter games. and want to know how we feel. And Greg, or that is actually Copperpot because the picture matches. So we're getting two of your questions, man. I'm right there with them.
Yeah.
Trying to grind out. There are certain exceptions like Xenoblade last year and stuff. It was excellent to play through that. The time goes by so fast. I don't know. I put 50 hours into it, but and I'm diving into one now, which I know is going to be like 80 plus hours of gameplay in Dragon Quest VIII. So it's one where it has to be a great game for me to do it. Yeah. And I just have a feeling Dragon Quest VIII is going to be. I have a feeling that X is going to be. But if it's not a short game these days, it's tough. 2 kids. I'm actually more into. I'm really been getting into working out huge now, and that's 2 hours at the gym each day. It's insane. I have no time for nothing. So long games just don't cut it for me anymore, unless it's something I know I'm gonna love. And yeah, I like short stuff. Anyone else?
Let's see. That's the thing. Like it kind of goes back to Operation Rainfall in a way for me, because on the one hand, I absolutely love Xenoblade Chronicles. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But on the other hand, I absolutely love Last Story.
Yeah.
So like those are like opposite sides of the coin for me, because one is 100+ hours and the other one you can finish in 20 hours.
I love Journey. That's like an hour for me now. I can beat that game in an hour.
And like, but I understand, like what you said is perfect because it depends on the game. Like Drakengard 3, I'm so not sick of that game yet, and I've beat the game on 3 of the. I got 3 of the endings, working on the 4th, and I have all this DLC that I downloaded to play. And
isn't that the best feeling ever?
It's the best feeling ever. When you're like, I fucking love this game, and I have so much more to do.
When I got every ending in Nier, I was like, yes. So you're gonna get that same feeling in Drakengard.
I need to get.
I hope so.
Ending. I need to go back and get every ending in Nier. I really need to do that. I think I'm gonna, when I put the PS3 version in. I think that's what I'm gonna try to.
Oh yeah.
I guess you have the big moment spoiled for you already.
In which?
In Nier, where you get all the endings.
Not so much,
because it's really, really cool.
Yeah, like no, honestly, I have completely avoided anything on Nier.
Okay, because something happens.
Yeah.
At the last second of your playthrough. Like,
well, shut the fuck up.
He's not going to say it. He's not.
I'm just asking you. You don't know what's happening.
No, I have no idea what's happening.
And that's amazing. Go do it before it gets spoiled because it's awesome.
Well, I'm gonna. That's the thing. Like I plan on finishing Drakengard 3 first. I'm gonna say it right here. I don't know if I'll actually do it because the final boss of Drakengard 3 is a 7-minute rhythm game.
Are you serious?
Where when you make one mistake, you're dead. So you have to do it perfectly.
Sounds like an MMO raid boss.
Yeah.
You gotta dodge everything.
But if you find the beat in the music, it's really easy to do the stuff. The problem is the song changes tempo 5 times. So you have to find the tempo before the rings kill you. But anyway, that's not beside the point.
I love what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I want to platinum this game. That's how much I enjoy Drakengard 3. I want Drakengard 3 to be my first platinum ever. That's how much I like this game.
That's awesome.
So I have a lot of work ahead of me.
What about you, Chance? You're a fan of short stuff, ain't you, man?
Yeah, I like short games. It's
right there with
you. It's problematic in a lot of ways because there's so many great games that I already have in my collection that I'm just so like I don't even want to start it because of how long it is. Like you mentioned Fallout, like I have Fallout 3 and I would love to play it, but I hear it's crazy long. Xenoblade, all the Mass Effect, all these other games, like God, I don't want to play it. It's too long.
Fallout 3 is really short though.
But,
well, okay, go on.
yeah, I like short games.
Senkai, I have a feeling you're okay with the long ones.
Yeah, the thing for me is that when it comes to gaming overall, it all has to do with how you prioritize your time. Because if you have a great game that you're looking forward to play, whenever you get a hour off, you will start that game instantly and start playing it. And I mean, if you don't play very much and you play a short game, you will still beat it in a few days. And if you have a long game and play it all the time because you love it so much, it will take the same amount of time when it comes to days to finish it, if you know what I mean. So when I have a short game, I play it in short sessions also, so it still takes me a few days to beat. And I have memories of JRPGs or visual novels. Lately, I finished Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney, which was around 30 hours long, but I finished it in 2 or 3 days just because I enjoyed it so much. Because as soon as I had nothing to do, I picked up the game and played it because I wanted to, you know? So, I don't know.
I think that's the thing. With me these days, there's not a time where I don't have nothing to do until 9 o'clock at night and everyone's asleep. I finally have time to do something.
Because I can go a whole week without finishing a game even though I had the time to, because I don't feel motivated enough. Or because the games aren't good enough. But I don't know.
I would say Senkai, if you follow his channel or him on Facebook, he is great at...
He finishes games at an ungodly speed. Yeah.
Well, when he picks a game to play it, he plays it until it's beat. He's the new Arrow, because Arrow's been dropping the ball on that. Arrow, I'm calling you out. You've been starting games and not finishing them here lately.
What an asshole.
But Senkai, he will say he's playing a game like Shenmue 3, he'll beat it. He'll play one, beat it, move on to the next one. Or Shenmue 2, I'm sorry. Shenmue 2.
That's amazing, Senkai. How'd you beat Shenmue 3 so fast?
I don't know. I was trying to come up with a good answer.
He's great at completing games, and then if we talk about games we played recently, you'll know the 2 I beat are short games. So
I just want to tell everybody who's listening to this podcast that it's all about what you do with your time, because I think that's it. You have to, if you really want to beat a long game, just do it, because it isn't very hard. You just need to play the game.
You do. And we're time. Like I've started Dragon Quest 8. You guys can time me from like this day. We'll see how many days it takes me to beat that.
I just mean that we were talking about games in our backlog that we bought for $2 and they're just on the shelf. I mean, if you would actually pop it in and play it, you would be done with it already. So it's all about doing it and not just thinking about it too much. I am having all these lists of backlogs and stuff, and if I just stopped thinking about it so much and just played the games, I would be done with them. So
awesome. So take Senkai's advice, people. Play your games. Play them. And hey, I think we're good on questions.
Yeah.
I think I've asked one from everybody, and we're good. Well, I didn't do Tai Kim. We'll do his real quick. Thoughts on the localization of Criminal Girls and Senran Kagura games? Senran Kagura games. At this point, I'd almost prefer they stay in Japan. As US cannot seem to handle it. So, what do you guys think?
I think if they remove stuff, they might as well not release it at all. In some cases, I don't know. I don't know.
What's the name of the one where we're ripping off people's clothes now? That's coming out.
That's Senran Kagura.
Yeah. Akiba's Strip.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
But Senran's the same thing. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
When you power up at the beginning of the level, you blow all your clothes off, and you're just in like a brawl.
Wasn't that on the 3DS or something as a download? One of those.
Yes.
Okay.
It's physical over here in Europe. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And you guys got the cool Xenoblade bundle. Yeah, we know.
And see, that's the thing that drives me nuts, is because Xseed keeps putting those things out, and we are still waiting on second chapter. Fucking God.
It's so weird when they localize games no one cares about. I mean, they want to make money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's up?
No, they don't want to make money.
If they would release Trails in the Sky, wouldn't they?
What is this money you speak of?
I'm going to answer his question really simply, though. You'll find in the U.S., there's always going to be a group of people here that'll hate something. It can be the best idea of things. There's going to be someone who hates it. So, or be against it.
I feel like you're talking about me and Dark Souls right now.
No, I'm talking about our culture in general.
Oh, okay.
Just some are for abortion, some aren't. Like everything. Yeah. Just people are. We're so mixed here and divided in a lot of things that when it comes to the games, of course, there's going to be people who are going to be divided about it too. But just because some people can't handle it, don't mean that others can't. So I think it's fine if they still keep on coming over here. Let the people say what they want about the boobies hanging out and whatever. Other people just won't care.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. If you don't like that kind of thing, then don't buy it.
Ding,
Easy
ding,
enough.
ding. There you go.
Yeah.
Don't like it, don't buy
There's
it.
so much fuss about it, though. I mean,
Parents take responsibility.
Well,
don't
that's
let your
the thing.
12-year-old son buy it.
I remember the big stink about Bravely Default and them censoring some of the costumes.
yeah, what the fuck was that about? Seriously.
And I know it's like these are super deformed characters. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get my jollies off on this.
Yeah.
Let them be in skimpy
Isn't
clothes.
it even worse though with the people who complain about it, about the censorship? Because I mean,
well,
is it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. It's like
it's no big deal. Actually,
it's no big deal. Who cares? You know, like, and that's what I was saying. I don't get my jollies off on it. So if they want to release it with, you know, Agnes in a skimpy outfit, fine. If they class it up a little bit, fine. Who cares? It's not. I don't buy this game so I can look at a super deformed character in a skimpy outfit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think someone asked on the Facebook
I think
page.
It's so weird when.
Go.
No, I just mean when people really can't stop talking about how bad it is that they censor something when I mean it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
For the game as a whole, it's just a minor thing. So
didn't change the game at all.
I would like it to be uncensored, but if it is, whatever.
I was going to say someone asked
play it, right?
Exactly.
Get what you get and don't throw a fit. You know what I mean? It's like just be happy we're getting the fucking game.
Exactly.
I was going to say someone asked on our Facebook page if we've ever like really got excited about a character, like turned on by a video game character. And my reply was like, it's real or no deal. Like, I just don't get jollies off of video game characters. So it just doesn't float my boat. So they can be wearing whatever they want. Ain't gonna do that for me.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the official podcast has begun. Because
2 hours in, we're at the official podcast part.
Because the topic of today, which we should all be able to provide some good input on, is we decided, and thank credit to, make sure I have the name,
Paul Kenna.
Paul Kenna said something to do with handheld RPGs. Maybe that was his question. So guess what, Paul? We're doing this whole segment on handheld RPGs, and we've already talked about a bunch of them. The PSP was already brought up, and I don't know
PSP
how.
is fucking amazing.
That's going to be the sound clip at the end of this one, by the way. When this goes on.
PSP's fucking amazing.
Just handheld RPGs, which just right off the bat, and I think Chance will be with me. That is the way I would kind of like to play my RPGs this way. If I can have it portable some way, I find it so much easier. I know I don't get the good graphics as the PS3, or Xbox or whatever. But even on I consider my laptop portable because I could bring it anywhere with me, like in the house.
Let's just pause and let's just get the brass tacks out of the way. If I'm laying on the couch playing an RPG and I can get up, go to the bathroom, and take a shit and still play the RPG, then it's golden. Okay,
yes,
that's why portable gaming is great for RPGs.
Chance, would you agree with the statement?
Absolutely.
Taking a dump and playing RPG is gold.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Taking a dump without having to know that you have to get finished and run back to your game, that you can actually sit there for a while and enjoy your game.
And let your legs go numb. You know, when you stand up and you can't walk straight because your legs are numb.
They fell asleep, yeah.
PSP, man. So good.
Fucking PSP, man.
So let's, I guess, dive right into it. I'm trying to think of y'all can say what you want. I'm trying to think the first handheld experience I got. I believe I had a PSP. Well, we're going back to Game Boy Advance. When I had my Game Boy Advance, because on my Game Boy, I played Zelda. I forget Link's Awakening because a buddy had it. The RPG battle.
Oh,
you guys can.
Wait. Whoa, that's starting a whole thing. Is Zelda an RPG? Oh my god.
What?
Fuck you.
This episode's going to go on for 8 hours now because
I did not play an RPG on a handheld actually until the PSP. So, man, that thing is awesome.
Steven
and
just said it Zelda is not an RPG.
Hey, I said Zelda. I think it is an RPG. So I'm on the
Definitely
side with
Zelda
this.
2.
I'd give
But,
you Zelda 2.
You cannot tell me that Zelda 2 is not an RPG. No one can tell me
But
that.
if you can't
That doesn't
level,
make the franchise RPG.
yeah.
And Link levels up in hearts. That means he's leveling up. It's
No,
an
no,
RPG.
that's different because you can't grind hearts. You can't grind hearts. They're collectible items.
Thank you. Let's move on.
I forgot my train of thought. My first RPG on a handheld was Jeanne d'Arc, and it was still to this day one of my favorite RPGs on the system. So it was nice to get a welcoming like that to the handheld RPG realm by such a great game. And I don't know, do you guys remember your first handheld RPG?
Yep.
Of course.
Go for it then.
Shall I start?
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay, well, my first console actually was, or handled, was the Game Boy Color. And I never had a console for the TV before. Like, the Game Boy Color was my first gaming console. So, I got it with Pokemon Yellow. And that's the RPG, I guess. But not counting Pokemon. My first RPG on the Game Boy Color was actually a Harry Potter game.
a Harry Potter RPG?
Yeah, it's a turn-based JRPG based on Harry Potter.
Wait. I need to know the name of this game right now.
It's the licensed game based on the first movie, but the Game Boy Color version of it is a turn-based JRPG.
All right, I need to look this shit up.
It's very weird because all
Mental
the other
note, look
versions
this
on
shit
like
up.
GameCube, computer, Game Boy Advance even, they're all like platforming action games. But the one for Game Boy Color is it's just like any turn-based JRPG, seriously. So that was pretty cool because everyone knows about Pokemon, but I thought the gameplay in that game was really good compared to Pokemon, so I started to enjoy RPGs more. But that's my first RPG experience on a handheld.
Cool. Dustin?
Oh, me?
Or was it
first-
Chance who said he knew his off the bat?
I do.
I know mine off the bat.
Okay.
My first RPG experience on a handheld is actually Final Fantasy Legend 3 on the Game Boy. And we now know this game as Saga 3, which has been remade on the DS. And after I got Final Fantasy Legend 3, I got Final Fantasy Legend 2, but I didn't like it as much because the weapons will like break after a certain number of usages, and that just drove me insane as a kid. But Final Fantasy Legend 3, you kind of travel through time and fly around the ship. Really fun stuff, and I'm really looking forward to replaying it on the DS, but that was my first portable RPG experience.
And I'm sorry, I lied. My first portable one was Golden Sun. I just did not finish it. It was the first one I played on the Game Boy Advance. Sorry. I'll get into more of that later. Go ahead, Chance.
Definitely Pokemon Red. I played Pokemon Red for hours and hours and hours. But it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe a few years ago that I ever thought of the Pokemon series as an RPG. Like, I know that it is, but I don't know. I just never thought of it that way. It never seemed like it, I guess. And then after that, I'd say the first, standard RPG I played was Final Fantasy 1 on the Game Boy Advance. I played the Dawn of Souls 1 and 2 back to back. That was great.
Nice. So what do you guys think would be, I'd hate to throw it on the spot, but the must-play handhelds, like as far as the games you need to play, and we can go by system if we want, or you can just name the game. What are some that you like? There's no doubt you have to play this. If you have not played it, you got to give it a go.
Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow on the DS.
That is a must-play.
It is, definitely.
And I have it sitting here on my shelf, but I have to play Aria of Sorrow first.
You don't.
But I will.
I know you will. I know you. But to all the other people listening to this, you should definitely play Dawn of Sorrow if you haven't. It's amazing.
What if someone as myself even had trouble getting into Symphony of the Night?
No worries. Just play Dawn of Sorrow.
Okay. I will
So
trust you on these words.
essentially, what you're saying right now is Dawn of Sorrow is better than Symphony of the Night.
No, but it's easier to get into.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's gotten to a point
It's a
with
little bit more level-based than the whole Metroid thing you have in Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
You obviously backtrack a lot in Dawn of Sorrow too, but not as much. So.
See, that's something I hate in games is backtracking. I hate it with a passion. That's until I played Metroid. Oh, now I'm forgetting the names now. Super Metroid and Zero Mission. I just beat those recently, and I didn't mind the backtracking too much in there because the map system, I could remember it, and I'm pretty sure Castlevania has a map system in the DS entries, right?
Yeah, obviously you have 2 screens too, so you always have it there, which is amazing.
So that's nice to have, but I've liked to watch a lot of these speed runs now, and almost every Castlevania game has been ruined for me just because I like to sit and watch these guys beat them in an hour or less. So, but I was
the Castlevania games is very much about your own experience. Though,
okay.
So
cool. Definitely give
the
it
gameplay is the best part, besides the music, which also has a lot to do with you playing the game yourself. So just play. It's great.
Is there one on the top of your mind, Chance?
There's a couple. Definitely Etrian Odyssey 4. I think that is fantastic. As
we're doing a round table. You can only say one right now.
Okay. Shit. That's probably my first choice.
Done.
Yeah.
So would you say that's probably your favorite first person dungeon crawler is Etrian Odyssey 4? Is that your final answer for your favorite first person one?
I don't know, because I would say before you play Etrian Odyssey 4, I think that really you should start with Untold, the Millennium Girl, because it is a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier to dip your toes into. So if you were talking about like a first installment kind of thing, I would definitely pick Untold. But as far as like the overall experience, I think there's a lot more content in EO4.
Okay, and since we're on this, as we talked about Castlevania, I know Dustin, you're into the Etrian Odyssey series, Senkai. I'm not sure how much of the series you played. What do you guys think of that series as a whole? Is it a solid one you'd like to keep seeing more entries of? It's a must-play series, or what do you guys think?
I'd love to see it continue, but not so frequently. I would like to see more quality titles than just putting them out every year, because they had great potential, but I'm feeling with so many entries in such a short time, it can go very wrong for the series, but I think we'll do great.
Exactly what Senkai says. I think it's a must-play, especially 4 and Untold. The first 3, I mean, I haven't played them yet, but just from listening from Chance, they're a bit... when you get into a first-person dungeon crawler, you're kind of getting into a very archaic kind of system, because they kind of keep it old school. But with 4 and Untold, they really open it up to let everybody enjoy it. So with those 2 games, especially Untold, you will just normal RPG lovers can pick up Untold and love it. But the older ones, maybe not so much. But the same thing is with Bravely Default, because they were talking about making Bravely Default a yearly series. And it's kind of like, no, Square Enix, don't you know what you're fucking doing? You're ruining this.
No, they don't.
Yeah. They absolutely. But, I think Etrian Odyssey, maybe not so much the DS ones, but definitely the 3DS ones are must-plays.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and say, for me, because it kind of links up to what you kind of said just now, Senkai, about length of time. I'm checking to make sure, because I'm going to, since I said already, Golden Sun, I think, is a must-play. I think those are games you still have yet to play, right, Dustin?
I've played Golden Sun 1 multiple times, but I've never beat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How I got introduced to that game was a buddy of mine sitting at the school bus stop, sitting there playing his Game Boy Advance, got on the bus, and I actually sat in the seat beside him. We didn't normally talk or anything, but that interested me. I sat beside him, said, "What are you playing?" And that kindled a great friendship that I still have to this day. He's one of my close friends. Always talking about games with still. He moved to Arkansas, but we still keep in touch very regularly. And that game, kindled this friendship. And what's so cool about it, I love the turn-based battle system. I love the characters, the music, but just the out of battle things you could do, like puzzle solving that was in it, using moves to move rocks and stuff like that, or other powers to do things in the game. And I really enjoyed back then. I thought it was so cool after coming off of like a Final Fantasy VIII and stuff, the summons, like doing a summon in a game. I thought it was so awesome. And I think in like if you look up playthroughs of Final Fantasy VIII and stuff like that now, people never even use a summon. I think it's like one of the weakest moves maybe to do. You just power up your characters and use them. But I love seeing the animations of it, and with I call them Jin. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, it is.
But I just love like seeing all those summons and just how that worked. You had to balance it. If you used one, your character's going to be a little less weaker. You had to.
That system is amazing.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I loved it, and it was just a great system. Now the second entry came in a few years. I think it was 2 years afterwards of the first one, and I thought the Lost Age was great. But Dark Dawn came like 7 years later after Lost Age. And I hold that game highly still. I really enjoy it. But, I mean, it got nowhere near the praise the first two did, even though the battle system and everything stayed the same. But it just wasn't as received well.
It's that review system again. Like,
Yeah.
if it stays true to the series roots, then it gets the shit kicked out of it. I don't know. But it seems like with Western reviews anyway, it's like JRPGs just get the shit kicked out of them anyway.
Yeah. And it's a series I hold close and dear, just for reasons like I said. But anyone else ever played the Golden Sun series? I guess you have. Senkai?
Yeah, I love them. They're fantastic.
Awesome.
Also, I have a pretty cool thing around the third one, Dark Dawn. It's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, I was so hyped about it finally getting released, so I played it on a flash card because I I really wanted to play it as soon as possible. And I played for about 20 hours or something, and then my flash card screwed up. So, when it did, I actually got the game because I was obviously going to buy it because I want to, buy the game, support the company. But it's still sealed, and I haven't finished it to this date. So the mystery of waiting for the third game to come out is still there for me because I haven't got the full experience of the third game yet. So whenever I open up the box for that game, read the manual, and play it, it's going to be really cool because a little bit of the wait for Golden Sun 3 is still there with me. So I don't know.
I know you got your question.
It's very mysterious for me.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out real quick, one of the cool things in the game that was the camera angle of the battle system. When you saw that, because you're so used to either just seeing the enemy on screen or seeing the characters on one side, the enemies on one side, I like this dynamic view of the battle that Golden Sun had as well.
I still can't see how the Game Advance can handle that. It's amazing.
It's just amazing graphics. So go ahead with that. What you're going to say, Dustin?
I was just going to say, like, Senkai, do you find you do that with game series often? Like, here's the thing. Like, I love Grandia 1. I love Grandia 2. I am holding off on playing Grandia 3 because once I play Grandia 3, it's done. Like, do you feel like you're, like, holding off on Golden Sun Dark Dawn because you just don't want it to end yet?
No, not really. I'm holding off on it because I know it's great. I already played the majority of the game, and I know that whenever I do that, I'm going to have a weekend or something, an amazing weekend. So I'm just saving it because I have a lot of games in my backlog, and I know that's a safeguard of a great weekend for me. So whenever I feel like it, I will play it, but not because I don't want it to end. I would really love to see how that game ends, actually, but I don't know.
Have you played any of them, Chance?
I played a bit of the first one, emulated it just to see what all the hubbub was about, and I like it a lot. But I still haven't ever picked up the first two, but I have the third one sitting on the shelf, sealed still as well.
Third one, yeah, it's like a dirt cheap now.
Yeah,
it was like a bunch of places.
I bought it at GameStop, brand new, sealed for like $12. It really is very cheap.
I think you can get it at Toys R Us for $5 new right now. So
it's
wow.
nuts. Yeah, but
also the first game is very cheap and it's on the Wii U too. So
yep.
Oh, sweet. Well, that might be an option then.
Dustin, finish it.
Very simply, must-play games. Buy a DS XL. Buy Dragon Quest 4, 5, 6, and 9.
Ooh.
Done.
He cheated and said
He
4.
got to say 4 games. You only
Well,
let me
I
say
said 3
one.
in mine too. My bad. We did talk about the
Bastards.
series though.
Well, here's the thing: pick any of them. That's okay. Just pick one of them, and you're gonna
Pick
have.
five.
No.
Five.
Listen,
Yeah.
I would not. 9
What?
is the one I've played, but I wouldn't start with that because people might get spoiled by the prettiness of it.
That's true.
I'd say start with one of the other ones.
I would say if you want storyline, go with 5 because Dragon Quest 5 is one of the strongest stories in the series. But really, gameplay wise, any of them is a good choice.
Yeah, none of them really changing. They don't change at all in gameplay. So
That's a testament to how great it is.
But
Broke.
you will because I forgot where I saw it. Some fan board or something about Dragon Quest. Since I was looking up stuff on 8 the other day, I was seeing what people ranked Dragon Quest games. A lot of people love 9, but everyone was saying don't play it first because you'll spoil yourself with the other handheld. So just a test. I heard.
I don't know. See,
the
that's
other
the
ones
thing.
I heard are pretty hard. I'd say 9 is easy.
Yeah. But see,
4,
that's the
5, and
thing.
6 can be a little bit challenging. I would think
9 is not my favorite in the series by a long shot.
the story isn't as strong in 9.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, even like, I don't know, like just, I prefer like.
It felt like a loot. 9 felt like a loot game at times too.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of felt. You could still kind of feel that MMO action RPG feel to it. They
Did you play it yourself or with someone?
I played it myself because no one
Oh,
around
see.
here. I'm the only person around here that even knows anything about Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
You know, it's when we say Dragon Quest is not popular in the United States. I mean, it's very niche. I mean, that's the thing about it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I love Dragon Quest IX as a Dragon Quest game, but compared to the rest of the series, I like a good majority of the rest of the series more than I like 9.
Okay. And Chance, you have played some Dragon Warrior on the handheld, so you know all about that goodness.
Yeah, I've played to completion. I've only played 1, but I've beaten it twice, and I've played a lot of 2, and I've played a lot of 9. But those are the only ones that I've played. 9 is great. That's what I'm playing it right now, actually.
You need to put in 3.
Yeah, you're right. I do, but part of me really has to finish 2. I have to finish 2.
And I'm glad I'm here. We're discussing this because I'm glad I'm here. Of course I'm going to be here. But Dragon Quest 3, Dustin. Which version should I play?
I would say since you have a hacked PSP, download the Super Nintendo ROM.
Over the color
PSP
version.
man.
Yep. Easily, because the Game Boy Color version is just the Super Nintendo version with Game Boy Color graphics.
Yeah.
I heard it was a better translation though too, or is the SNES one not even that bad?
The SNES one's a fan translation by what is it, DJAP?
Those are always the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go with that.
I'll take your word. And I need a handheld RPG to play. I just didn't know if I wanted to do 2 Dragon Quest games at the same time.
And if you want me to send you the ROM, just let me know, because I have it completely patched and everything ready to go.
Holy crap, whenever you can, even while we're talking.
Well, that's the thing. I got to boot up the PC, and it's a pain in the ass.
Peanut butter and jelly again. Here we go.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Senkai, what do you think on the Dragon Quest handhelds? Even the Warrior ones.
Well, I think it's great that you can play the majority of the series on handhelds.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That's like every game.
that's amazing.
Even 10 now.
7 and 10.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's a really great thing because it's hard to say, but I actually prefer handheld gaming. I always done, and it's cool that you can stick around with handheld gaming without missing out on great games like the Dragon Quest series. You get to play the majority of the series without even having a home console, so that's awesome.
Everyone except 8. And I was so mad because I was like, why can't I play this on my Vita? It'd be
Oh, that would be
lovely.
awesome.
Wait,
But
wait, wait,
also,
whoa. If you have an iPad or an iPhone,
Oh,
you can
That's
play
true.
Dragon Quest 8.
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
oh, that's so fucking cool. Seriously.
So 7 and
But-
10 are
but
the only
anyway.
ones you can't play on handheld in English.
Right. That's correct.
What's
In
very
English,
cool
yeah.
about the Dragon Quest series is that we can discuss it about number 3, but the rest of the series is actually superior on a handheld console. The best versions are there, which is
That's
also pretty
true.
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, amazing. But I just want to put it out there. The 5 is my favorite, and that would be my second game to recommend to anyone. Play Dragon Quest 5 because you don't have to play any other game in the series, and it's a great game by itself, by all means. So, also, I think you learn a lot by playing it because it's very retro, and if you're not used to games like that, it's a great experience.
You know what's great that has me intrigued for 1, which might be something people don't like, is that you're just one person. Like, I didn't have to think about other party members, and that really intrigued me. Like, I just want to be myself,
Yeah.
like
That's
one
the-
player
yeah.
playing the game.
Like Dragon Quest 1 is really good. Dragon Quest 3 is really good. Dragon Quest 2 is unbalanced as fuck.
It's hard. It is so hard.
Let's see. I was gonna say I
What
try
is
to
it?
think of another game I'd recommend, but I just kind of
Is it
want
my
to.
turn now?
Well, you just did one with well, no, you said Dragon Quest V would be the second
Yeah.
one you'd recommend, but I was gonna say let's just talk about the PSP, but go ahead with another one.
I just want to make a shout out to the Mario and Luigi series because those
Ooh.
are handheld exclusives and they're fantastic JRPGs that it's very easy to miss out on because first of all they're Mario games, so you might actually go around and think it's something else than it actually is. They are very very well made JRPGs, and a lot of people don't even know that, I guess. So I just want you to know that they're great games and don't miss out on them because they're sweet.
Mario RPGs done right.
Yeah.
Unlike newer entries in the
Shut up.
series. But that is good stuff.
I've got one more that's an absolute must.
Go for it.
Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yep.
Ooh, I would say that is a must.
Gotta play it. I mean, even if you're not like real keen on strategy RPGs, like it is so easy to get into and get addicted to that combat. It is fantastic and wonderfully done.
I would say you have got to play Final Fantasy Tactics on the Game Boy Advance.
Just for the snowball fight alone.
Yes. Do you have another you have to play, Dustin?
It's a more recent game, but it's one of the ones I think just mops the floor with any other RPG out there, and that's Radiant Historia. We've been talking a lot about it because Alex is playing it right now, but that is, I'm honest to God, that is a must-play RPG, Radiant Historia.
It's funny that all these games we're talking about came out on Nintendo consoles.
Well, I mean, I can sit here and talk about Trails in the Sky. I mean,
I was gonna say,
Nintendo
when we were doing
DS
the
is
sidekick,
fantastic,
I thought you
seriously.
were gonna say Estelle or someone. Go ahead, Senkai.
I don't know. Let's just because you said that about Nintendo, let's and me saying so many times that the PSP is so cool, I have to mention a PSP game. So not so much a must play, but a must own. I really think everybody should pick up the Castlevania, the remake for Round of Blood on PSP, because it's such a great package.
Dracula X Chronicles.
Yeah, the Dracula X Chronicles.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
That is a great package.
What's so great about that one is that there are 3 games in one, and they're not on consoles. So I think we should mention that particular game when we're talking about handheld gaming, because you get 2 amazing games and also a remake if you want to.
You get 2 amazing games and an okay remake.
Yeah, for the price of a third of a game. So
yeah,
it's incredible, really.
Actually, okay, go ahead.
I was going to ask you guys a question. If you guys have played many of the series, one of my very early horrible reviews, but it's like my most watched one on my channel, Valkyria Profile on DS, Covenant of the Plume. Really enjoyed that. And I have Valkyria Profile Lenneth on the PSP. How great is that game? Because I know it demands a lot, the original version. Is that a fantastic one, or is it overrated, or is it a must-play?
See, I haven't played any of the Valkyria Chronicle or the Valkyria profile games yet. But Covenant of the Plume is a strategy RPG, whereas Lilith is something completely different.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a strategy RPG.
Oh.
It's like a traditional RPG with this very heavy-handed, like, time element on you.
Okay.
Like, time constraints.
Oh, fantastic, because I love those.
Yeah, so a lot of... And Valkyria Profile, the first game, is very divisive. Like, a lot of people really love it, and then a lot of people hate it. There's no real in-between. Like, it's just an okay game. It's either you love it or you hate it. So... It's hard to say.
It's a very weird game for me because every time I try to play it, I get all the feelings like when we discussed Mass Effect earlier and said that the game is better if you play it one way. Mm-hmm. That just sucks because you should just be able to pick up a game and play it and enjoy it. But Valkyrie Profile, there's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of choices and time management and everything, and there's one certain playthrough that is the best one, and you always want to get that's the whole story, and it's very hard to achieve that actually if you're not using a guide. So I don't know, if you're using a guide, it's a fantastic game, but otherwise it's not a very friendly game by any means.
Yeah,
but it's very cool. So
I know you had something you're going to say, Dustin, but while I'm sitting here looking at my games, and I'm thinking about how great it is that each handheld, I know we're like an RPG, if you like action or JRPG, they each have something you should love. And because I was looking at Solo to Robo, and I love that game as far as an action RPG on the DS.
I was going to mention that before.
Yeah. It's just a great action one, and then it's got, like I was talking, Golden Sun for turn-based. Final Fantasy 4 is on there. Final Fantasy 3, if you like that one. But I mean,
if we're talking about Final Fantasy 4, then we're talking about the complete collection on the PSP. We're not talking about the DS version.
And then I was gonna say PSP.
Fuck Dracula X Chronicles, man. Final Fantasy 4, the complete collection. That's where it's at.
And the PSP, as far as action side, has like Phantasy Star games, Portable, Monster Hunter. I mean, just a wide variety.
Yeah. I mean, if you are an RPG gamer, you already know this, that the handhelds is what you want to buy, because that's where, I mean, the Valkyria Chronicles, Trails in the Sky, Lunar,
Star Ocean,
East.
the Star Oceans, East. I mean, looking over here at the 3DS, you got Shin Megami Tensei 4. You know, we already talked about Etrian Odyssey. We already talked about Fire Emblem. You're looking down here at the DS. So many games. You know, it's crazy how like things have shifted from the consoles to the handhelds.
Oh, well, even Game Boy. Go ahead, Jan.
I think it's interesting too, like how many games, even for both PSP and DS, how many like remakes or re-releases there was. It's like they recognized, oh, these games were really well liked. Let's release them again on these handheld consoles. Yeah, and they sell like crazy. So not only is there a lot of unique and new experiences, new games, but there are so many classics that you can get on handheld consoles now.
The definitive version of Chrono Trigger is the DS version.
Yeah, and like you said, Final Fantasy IV. Why would anyone play it in any other way?
Yeah.
Star Ocean, First Departure, Second Evolution.
Yeah, First Departure is so cool. I mean, that doesn't feel like something you would do on a handheld, like remake a game in that way that they do with that one. But they actually did, and it works. Yeah, handheld exclusive, so that's very cool. Yeah.
The only remake Final Fantasy games, they're all there.
The only one I didn't like on PSP, which I never played the original version on PlayStation for it, or PS1, was Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, because the load times and the fighting was so horribly slow. It took forever for a battle in that game. That's why I said the Game Boy Advance version, because, I mean, you push a button, the attacks happen. I felt like attacks loaded up.
It's not. It's a different game.
It's a completely different story.
It's a different game, but that's why I would recommend that tactics game over the other.
I really like that one.
There's actually 2 Game Boy Advance games that I think kind of get forgotten in the annals of time. and that is Lunar Legend, which is a completely kind of almost different retelling of the Lunar story on the Game Boy Advance. It's almost, I mean, like, story-wise, it follows the same beats, but, like, there's a lot of different things in the storyline that make it actually worthwhile to play. And
Have
then,
you finished it?
Not completely. Why?
No, I was wondering because I only heard bad things about it, and now you come and say,
No,
say that
you're
it's pretty
thinking
cool.
of Dragon Song.
No, you might be thinking Dragon Song on the DS.
Dragon Song is garbage.
Yeah.
No. I was actually looking up the first Lunar because I was really hyped to play it, and I was checking out all the versions because I wanted to know which the best one was. And everyone says that the one for Game Boy Advance is so bad.
Well, comparatively to Silver Star Story and Silver Star Harmony, yeah, it's probably kind of bad. But it's kind of interesting to see how the story changes a little bit, because each version of Lunar, even though it's the same overall storyline, the details kind of change a little bit. It's almost like an oral story. Every time it's retold, it gets changed a little bit.
That's very cool.
It's still, I mean, if you're a fan of Lunar, it's still kind of interesting to play to see how things change a little bit. But one of the things that really got me on the Game Boy Advance, and a lot of people kind of forget about nowadays, is the Phantasy Star collection.
Yeah.
Phantasy Star 1, 2, and 3 on it. And
Ooh, what's that on?
Game Boy Advance.
Oh, I did not know that. I forgot about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's got Phantasy Star 3, which most people consider to be a complete shit game, and not 4, which was a much more regarded game. But I mean, that was my first experience with Phantasy Star, playing on the Game Boy Advance. So
Is Phantasy Star 4? Yeah, Phantasy Star 4 is on the Genesis collection on PSP though.
Yeah.
So you can still play two, and I don't think the first one's on that one though, because it's just the compressed version of the console Sonic.
Yeah,
Genesis
on consoles
collection.
you have all 4, which is amazing.
The first one's an unlockable, but the 2, 3, and 4 are just there.
And it has all the Shining Forces, so you might as well just buy that.
It has fucking everything.
It does.
It's crazy.
The definitive Breath of Fires are on the Game Boy Advance as well. I heard those are the better versions of the games to play.
Even compared to the fan translations?
No way.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Super Nintendo releases.
If you compare the
actual
original
ones.
releases, it's better on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. Oh, what else was I going to say? Because I'm looking at my Game Boy Advance that actually made boxes for, and they're all RPGs.
Yeah.
Breath of Fire, Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem, Game Boy
Final
game.
Fantasy 6 on
Final
Final
Disney
Fantasy
Fantasy
5 is a must-play on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's is that the only
Official?
Well, no, okay. There's PlayStation 1. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'd say, is that the only way you can play Final Fantasy 5? But I think it's
Final Fantasy 5 on the PlayStation is a port. The big thing with the one on Game Boy Advance is that it's actually a remake.
Is it?
While
Okay.
Final Fantasy 6 is I would say, enhanced port. But 5 on the Game Boy Advance is actually a remake, and it's a lot different and a lot better, in my opinion.
Is there a handheld RPG that we haven't named yet?
Persona 3 Portable, it's amazing.
I was going to say that you want to actually beat. You haven't played it yet.
Persona 4. I haven't beat it yet, and I wanted to.
And you want to play it. Okay. How about you? One of mine is Front Mission. It keeps staring at me every day, and when I get into these mech moods like I'm in, I look at Front Mission on the DS, and I really want to play it, but I just never pop it in yet. It's like, nope, it's not time.
If you're going to play Front Mission Evolved, get it on the 360, because I think the PS3 might be the reason why I hate that game so much.
That game is amazing.
Is there any you can think of, Chance, that we hadn't mentioned on the handheld front?
Well, that we haven't mentioned.
That we haven't mentioned. Yeah.
Well, shit. I got to rethink it then.
Senkai. We'll go to you then real quick.
I got one. Crystallis, Game Boy. Was it Game Boy Color?
You picked it up, though. You did buy a copy, didn't you?
Yep.
All right. I thought that was more Zelda type.
Yeah. You level up in that game.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Level up in it.
It's like Zelda, but with levels.
You know any Senkai you'd like to play?
That would be Trails in the Sky, to be honest.
You haven't played Trails in the Sky yet?
That one's been mentioned.
I haven't
You can't
finished
pick
it.
that one.
Oh.
That one. Yes, it's been mentioned.
So
You
no,
can't pick that
but not in this recent part of the podcast, I guess. I would also like to say Radiant Historia, but that's been mentioned as well. So
All right, Chance, go ahead with what's been mentioned since he's cheating.
Oh, okay. Well, Final Fantasy IV, Complete Collection on PSP. I need to play that, and definitely Trails in the Sky and the entirety of the portable Ys collection.
I thought you finished one of them.
Well, I finished.
Did you finish 7?
No, I finished Ys 1 on Steam, but I don't have it on PSP.
Okay. Oh,
But, yeah,
your
I need to
battery
finish
kept
Ys
giving
7.
you issues.
Yeah, I need to finish Ys 7,
Okay.
but I hate my PSP. Sorry. Not the system, my specific one, like the battery sucks. That's, I mean, part of me wants to say Soul Hackers, but I really don't know if I want to finish it. I really
Soul
don't know
Hackers
if I care.
is really cool.
I don't know if I care enough to finish Soul Hackers, but there's that.
Cool. Senkai, did you have another one? Because I didn't know if I cut you off or not.
Yeah, that would be Inazuma 11. Definitely.
Oh, is that the soccer one?
Yeah.
There is one on the 3DS to download right now, right? Is that it?
That's the first game in widescreen, I think. It was original on the DS, but on 3DS it has something enhanced. I don't know what actually, but
That's something I really want to try to play.
it's a really cool game though. And yeah, there are great sequels. It's a series that only gets better and better, so I really have to finish those games.
I'm looking at, man, Valkyria Chronicles 2, 3, White Knight. You can play a White Knight Chronicles game on the PSP, people. It's insane what you can play.
If someone from a different region sends it to you. But
Sure, no problem.
Or if you pull off a good trade.
yeah.
So, I mean, so many. Crisis Core on the PSP.
Yeah, I was gonna say Crisis Core.
Crisis Core is a must play.
Yeah.
One of the best Kingdom Hearts game, Birth by Sleep.
Birth by
Yeah,
Sleep.
since it's standalone and everything, you should definitely play Birth by Sleep if you haven't played a Kingdom Hearts game.
I think we've stated, I mean, if you're in RPGs, get a handheld, and there's going to be something for you. There's going to be a game that you're going to like. And like I said, even on the action front, Phantasy Star, I want to play through that portable.
And even one for Senkai for you North American people, since we missed out on it. Well, no, we didn't miss out on it. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. It was brought over to us called by Tales of Destiny 2, when it wasn't actually Tales of Destiny 2, but you can import Tales of Eternia on the PSP and play it, like I did.
That's true.
Yeah. There you go.
And Breath of Fire 3.
Breath of
Do
Fire
not forget
3.
that.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Alex,
But,
for that.
Those are two great games, which are exclusive to Europe for some fucking reason. I don't know. It's really weird. But that doesn't apply to you at all. But for me and everyone living in Europe, it's so amazing with these handheld version of games, because handhelds has always been in 60 hertz. From the first Game Boy, never was slower in Europe than everyone else. But for home consoles, they've always been a bit slower. So like the handheld release of any game has been better for us. So when we got Breath of Fire 3 and Tales of Eternia, it was so cool. Like not Eternia, but because that one was never released here. But it's so cool when you can play, because Breath of Fire 3 it's the full game.
Yeah,
it's not compressed in any way. It's the full game, and it runs better since it's your version of the game. So it's better, and you can play it wherever you want. So that was crazy for us.
I got one that's really crazy, and
Go for it.
It's easy to get a hold of, even though I'm going to tell you what system it's on. It's Shining Force, Sword of Haya or Halaya. I can't remember how to say the word, but it was on the Game Gear, Sega Game Gear.
That one is on the 3DS though, so
it is on the 3DS, yeah. And it's really, I mean, you would think like a Game Gear game, because let's face it, Game Gear games kind of sucked. But you'd think it kind of sucked, and it's a really good strategy RPG. I'm really surprised by it, and just remembering that, I need to get back to it on the 3DS. But yeah, there you go.
I didn't know it was out for the 3DS. That's awesome.
Yep.
How many other Shining Force games are portable? Because that is a series I've been wanting to try to play. Are there any other portables?
I think there was 2 portable ones on the Game Gear, and then there is one on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it's a remake of the first game, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shining Soul or something? Is that what they are?
It's shit.
That's nothing like it.
Something to do with a dragon.
Yeah, Resurrection of the Dark Dragon.
All right. So where was I talking about? Oh yeah, are there any Shining series on the Portal? So Shining Soul is not one of them.
Well, the Shining series as a whole is one thing. Shining Force is just a part of the Shining series.
Okay, so what is Shining Soul? Because now I'm looking at a list, and that was developed by Grasshopper Manufacturers. So I'm like, okay, what is this game all about then? Do you guys know? Is it an action RPG? Is it turn-based?
Chainsaws and gigolos.
It's hard to say because, Joe just bought a Shining game and it ended up being a bread making simulator. So
Oh yes.
it's hard to say what it is.
It says it's an action RPG and is a reboot of the Shining series. Okay, and there's a Shining Soul 2. It looks like there's a lot of games though. You're right, Resurrection of the Dark Dragon.
Yeah.
Was a release, but is that a U.S. release or will I have to find a translation?
No, I have a cart sitting in my Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
Collection.
That is something I want to get into. Is that series? So.
The first two games are on the Genesis collection.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on the PSP. Maybe.
Want a portable, man.
I don't think so.
Want a portable.
All right.
And then, he mentioned Corn Muffin, and he's playing those Shining games on his PSP. Now I want to play those. Like, oh, there's Shining games on PSP?
I downloaded the ROM for Shining Blades, but I don't know if there's an actual patch for the translation, or if it's just like, there's a website where it has the translation on there, and you can just read it as you're playing the game. You know what I mean?
It's insane how popular. I'm looking at the list of games in this series. How popular it can be on one side of the world, but over here, we hardly see any of it. That is insane. Look at all these games.
Yep.
And even all the spin-offs that are with Dragon Quest. There's so many great spin-off games.
Corn Muffin is sending me some kind of like Dragon Quest card battling game that I've never even heard of. Because I sent him a UMD of Big Trouble in Little China.
Little China. One top 10 that I looked at had 3 or 4 of them were games I never heard of that were Japanese releases only, based off of side characters in the game. It's like a game of their own, but it's in the Dragon Quest series.
Tulun's Dungeon, yeah.
I think that's one of them.
Or it's Torneco's, I guess.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
That's an awesome sound.
There's like a Dragon Quest Monsters that's Terry from Dragon Quest 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone making a spot of tea. Heard the water going.
I was washing some dishes. I'm multitasking now.
Well, does anyone have anything else they want to add to handhelds? Because we'll move on just to what we've been playing.
I want to add something that I was thinking about when you were talking about card battle games. Because there's a Grandia on the Game Boy Color, which is a card game when it comes to the battle system.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Which is a pretty cool game, so you should play that if you like the Grandia series.
Well, that's the thing though. I don't like card battling games. Like I played Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories on the Game Boy, and I hate that card system.
But you do enjoy a good game nonetheless,
right?
Despite the genre, right?
Right.
Right. So just play it.
Listen to him.
Telling you to play your $2 games in your cart. Nah. Oh, we forgot the Mother series is on like Mother 3 Game Boy Advance.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, but if you're
it's also on the PSP if you know how to do it.
These dishes are so loud.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
But just play your RPGs on handheld is awesome. So I'm ready to get in what we've been playing.
Have we even mentioned the Vita in this podcast?
No. If you like RPGs, buy a Vita. There, we're done.
Yeah, that's the RPG machine this year.
Yeah, PSN. You have access to a lot of things. There you go.
Yeah, and a lot of RPGs coming out this year that I can't name.
Yeah, Ease Memory of Celceta. Done.
Something that's very good for you, but not for me, is that the sale we were talking about earlier. That's on PSN right now. Yeah. They're selling games for 99 cents.
Yeah. And
one of them are Legend of Dragoon, which I won't be able to play on the Vita because my Vita is European and I can't send the game from the American purchase over to my Vita. So I'll be playing it on my PS3.
You can't do that
but
there?
that's very good for you. No, the Vita is you can only have one account. On my PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, I have accounts for all 3 regions, but whenever I buy a American game, I cannot send it to my European Vita, which sucks.
Wow.
But
So much for
but
that
I can,
region
however,
purchase.
download it from Pirate Bay or whatever and put it onto my PSP. So
There you go.
There you go.
that's all right.
That's the thing. Like I was talking earlier, it's like, oh, Senkai just posted this thing about this great PSN sale. I'm gonna go get Legends of Dragoon for my Vita and play it on there instead of playing on the PS1. Then I get on there and it's like PS3 only. I'm like, I'm not going through all that shit.
That's something we should mention as well, that you can play any PlayStation 1 game on the PSP
Yeah,
flawlessly, no lag or anything.
because it is a PS1 for all intents and purposes. The PSP internally, its guts are a PS1.
I'd say it's a little bit more powerful, eh?
But what I mean is it can run the PS1 games
Oh yeah,
perfectly.
yeah,
Much like the Wii U can run the Wii games without any problem.
yeah.
Right.
Well, cool.
So that's
Let's
great. As long as you own a PlayStation 1 game, download it and play it. Seriously.
Yeah.
As long as you own a PSP, you're fine.
Hey, he was trying to make it
wait.
sound at least legal. If you
Okay.
own a PS1 game,
No, wait.
download the PS.
Senkai, give us our catchphrase for the night.
Our catchphrase?
Yeah,
Yeah.
PSP fucking amazing.
there you go.
Senkai, what you been playing, man?
What I've been playing?
Yeah, what you been playing?
Let me check. No, but seriously, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 2 on my PlayStation Vita. Which was really interesting for me because I played it when I was a lot younger and I wasn't into game design as much back then. And what I realized when I played through the game this time was that it's actually a Metroidvania style game when you think of it, because
It's been so long. I gotta redo it because I forgot everything. I
Metal
remember
Gear
flipping
Solid 2,
around
the
naked.
whole game takes place in a like something that you could compare to the castles in Castlevania or like the levels in Metroid.
Yeah,
It's one big building.
Once you get the big shell, yeah.
Yeah, the big shell, right? And there are all these doors which you cannot open from the beginning, but you see them throughout the whole game. You know exactly where they are. So as soon as you get the keys to open them, you backtrack, and it feels just like playing Metroid. Also, the map looks super similar to the map in Metroid Prime. So that was pretty cool. But it's a great game. And what I did just before that was that I watched the graphic novel of Metal Gear Solid 1, which is for the PSP, but I watched it on the Legacy Collection, Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
It's a movie, however, a comic-style movie based on the first game. So
Do you click through it, or does it actually go on its own?
that's the cool thing. I really thought you clicked through it, but you don't.
Oh, cool.
It's a movie, so
How long was it then
the speech
to come out?
bubbles pop up when they say stuff, and like the boom and everything, it comes up whenever the sound effects come. So that's really cool. And it's about 1.5 hours, I think. It was pretty
Okay.
long, and it covered all the great scenes from the first game because I played both the original and the one on the GameCube. But so I really didn't feel like play it again. But I really wanted to see this whole story again, so I watched that one. It was nice.
Yeah, I want to play the GameCube version because I'm replaying through the whole series, or playing through because I've only played one
Yeah,
and
the same
two.
here. So that's what I've been doing actually this month. I've been playing Metal Gear Solid, also Peace Walker, and yeah.
Ooh,
my
nice.
goal is to finish 4 because I never finished 4. So I want to replay the whole series and then finish 4. So that's going to be amazing.
Someone was going to send me Twin Snakes, but I don't know if they forgot or if they
And
just...
someone is
were
still
going
planning
to.
on sending it.
Okay. I was like, do I
It's-
get it?
No, I feel bad because I did say that I was going to send that like 6 months ago, and I still haven't sent it. But it's there, I promise. But now it's even more motivation since you're like ready to play it. Like, okay, now I got to send this thing. Shit.
I know Prey isn't what I made it out to be for you, but you don't need to punish me. So that's all you've been playing was Metal Gear stuff?
Yeah, this month. Last month I played Infamous Second Son finished, and Layton versus Ace Attorney, as well as a lot of Mario Kart 8, obviously. But yeah, not very many RPGs actually. But I'm trying to finish Lost Odyssey, but I don't have. I have more time for handhelds at the moment, so
Yeah.
I hope I will get to
here.
finish Lost Odyssey sometime soon. But we'll see about that. It's a fantastic game, really.
Well, I've been all over the place. It's been tough for me to. I've been starting up too many games, and nothing's really sinking in and grasping me. And when I think it is, I start losing interest. Or I was playing White Knight Chronicles again on the PlayStation 3, and I'm enjoying that. But getting to the PlayStation to play it is a hassle. So I've been doing a lot of PC stuff because I can hold my laptop on my lap and play games. And I actually beat Shovel Knight, and I beat.
Oh, sweet.
That's one, like you said, since it was a short game, I beat it in 2 days, and I really loved it. I have videos I want to do on them, just never have time to do anything. But that one will be really short. I'm going to use Dustin's advice on that video. on the Shovel Knight one.
It's literally going to be the best video on YouTube ever.
And nothing can top Undead Space Monkey's video, but we'll try.
His pickup video?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the greatest video of all time.
Yeah. But I played through that, and I did enjoy my time with it. And this is coming from a guy who didn't beat any Mega Man game except Mega Man X. I have the collection here, and I want to play the old ones now just because I have a hankering to Mega Man 1, 2, all the classics. But I just love the control in the game. It's a good game to me. I like the checkpoint system. It just takes a little bit from everything. As Dustin, you put in the Facebook page yesterday, man, it just has a little bit of everything that makes those games good in it. Not to say it doesn't have its down points. It's levels can be a little bit long and near the end, but it's got the checkpoint system. I love the Dark Souls-esque thing in it with the going to get your loot. I thought that was cool. And I mentioned it earlier. I died more in that game than I did in Dark Souls. So I'm getting killed everywhere. But I finished it, loved it, and it was great. But so far, if it came out this year, it would be up there contending for Game of the Year. And that is the Swapper on Steam. And I think it's coming out for Vita and PlayStation Network stuff later on this year. That game blew my mind. If you are in
called again?
The Swapper,
Right.
pretty much you are, I would say, an astronaut, but just people have gone to space. I can't really say nothing about the story. You're in space, and then all of a sudden you're exploring this area that it's got like a distress call signal. You're there, and you wind up finding this gun called the Swapper, and it basically clones yourself. And it's a story filled with a lot of moral issues and a lot of, if you're into like Space Odyssey and stuff like that, the movie 2001 Space Odyssey, just trippy sci-fi movies like that, you're gonna love this game because I can't really say anything about it because the story is where it's at, and the gameplay is a puzzle-based gameplay because you're using these clones to solve puzzles, which you got to gather materials to open up next areas of the ship that you're exploring. So if you're into sci-fi and stuff like that, you got to play this game just for the story because the ending of it, it's just powerful. Everything about it's powerful. I'd say, Dustin, you need to try to play this game just because of your love of sci-fi stuff and stories like that. But I don't know how you feel about the puzzles in it. And I'll admit, near the end, I had to look up help for some of these puzzles to get solved.
Let me ask you this. Like,
I have a question too, but you first.
Okay.
I was going to say, are the puzzles Catherine-esque? Because explain to me the puzzle again.
What it is, you'll be exploring this Metroidvania type ship, and you'll notice that there's some doors that will say it costs, I forget what they are, but we'll call them orbs for now. You need 33 of these orbs to get the door open so you can proceed through. Now, a puzzle will be you'll enter a room, and you'll see maybe the orbs are in like an upper left corner. But you have to figure out how to get to that corner by using the Swapper, by making clones. Because there can be areas where you can put one clone, then you switch to control that one. But it mixes it up by throwing in lights. Like, you can put a clone through a red light, but then you can't shoot the beam to transfer to the clone through that red light. So you might have to put one clone in one area, another clone in another area, and shoot the beam through 2 areas to get to it. It's tough explaining. I would just watch a quick video on it, but it's nothing like Catherine puzzles.
Okay, well then I'll be totally fine with it.
It's nothing like that.
Yeah, if it's a puzzle like I can sit there and think about it, then I'm fine. If it's a puzzle where it's like, oh hey, you got to figure this out, but also there's something chasing you, fuck off.
No, you can take your time. And
did you play Catherine on easy or hard?
I played it on normal.
Okay.
And then I dropped it to easy, and I was still like, fuck off.
I see. That's too bad. You should definitely watch the rest of the game somewhere, because it's cool.
I've kind of lived it, so I'm okay.
And I'm
right,
almost...
so my question, if that's
I was going to say, I misled. It wasn't a person who's in on a distress signal. It was you're stranded on this space station and you're trying to get out. That's what the whole thing is.
Sounds really cool.
So, but what was your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Dustin about a indie game which you played. I don't know how long ago it was, but you said you finished it, and then I think you replayed it again to show your girlfriend or whatever it was.
Oh, you're talking about To the Moon?
Yeah, it might be it. Thanks. I just remember I watched a game discussion on it, and I really can't remember what game it was. But I want to play it because you said it was so good. But then again, I don't know what game it was. So
it was To the Moon, and okay, I didn't play it in front of her. I just told her about it, and it made her cry. Yeah.
Oh, so cool. Thanks.
I thought the question was for me. What in the world? No.
Steven, who's going to ask you questions?
I thought it was about the swapper. But anyways, it's really cool because this game, like the developers, when you look through the environments, it's amazing. They like clay molded the environments and just took pictures of them to use as their backdrop in the game, and it has this great visual effect, good looking, atmospheric. It's fantastic. It got rave reviews when it came out, but since it was just a Steam, like just a PC release only, I guess it didn't get too much attention from anybody. But it's amazing, and it's coming out in August on PlayStation 3, 4, and Vita, if anyone's interested in it.
It's amazing, because I'm watching some gameplay right now, and what you're saying sounds a lot more interesting than what it looks like. But then again, it looks very cool. The graphical style looks amazing. So
yeah, it's you wouldn't know the story by through the gameplay, but it's
this trailer must be bad or something. But it's a very good looking game, and what you're saying is very interesting. So. And it's coming out for the PlayStation 4 too, or only 3?
But the final thing that I've really been playing was Hearthstone. More of that since the expansion's coming out. I had stopped playing it, card game, for a while, but since the expansion's just around the corner, I got back into doing a little bit of that. And I popped in, like I was mentioning earlier, Dragon Quest VIII on my PC, and man, it looks beautiful with, I don't know if you're allowed to call it HD, but you can up the resolution, and the game just looks amazing. You can look up a video on YouTube on it. I mean, that's what the game looks like when I'm playing it, and it just looks gorgeous. And it runs fine, 60 frames per second. If you got a decent PC, you should be able to run these games. But so far, about an hour and a half in, and I'm loving it. I mentioned it before it started. This could go down as maybe my favorite RPG of all time already, just because I'm loving everything about it. So it's just seems like such an open world, just exploring not just the overhead view of all the other Dragon Quest games, but just like a third person. Just the towns seem more alive in 3D. These beautiful 3D visuals with Akira Toriyama's artwork. Go ahead, Dustin.
I was going to say, that's the thing about Dragon Quest VIII is because, like, when I was playing Dragon Warrior back in the NES, that's how I envisioned, like, that's the game in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you walk into a town, that's how my brain would see it, not just as, like, this overhead, blocky perspective, but that's how the game always looked in my brain when I was playing it as a kid. So when that game finally came out, I was like... my brain exploded.
Level 5 really did a great job on recreating the feeling, actually.
So I'm just itching at the bit. Like when we're done here, I'm gonna try to play some of it before I go to bed tonight. So awesome stuff, and I think that's about it. I won't bug around with anything else. I played Super Mario RPG. I'm playing that on the PSP.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How does it run?
It runs fine. It runs perfect.
Oh,
PSP
sweet.
is amazing, man. And
No.
I'm not saying it. You're not gonna get me to say it.
Oh, I thought I could get him to say it.
Can't get me to say it. You can put in a bleep there. The PSP is amazing. Anyways, I'm about 4 hours into that, and I mean, it's okay. Just fairly easy, not too much challenge. But it's a solid Mario RPG. The story's pretty cool, but I'm not getting that drive to want to finish it like I am of wanting to play Dragon Quest VIII. So I don't know what's going to happen with it, but
Isn't the humor the best thing in that game?
it is. It's pretty funny.
Like, when Mario starts to spin around and turns into another character just to show everyone else.
Yeah,
It's so fun.
it's pretty cool. But other than that, that's all I'll mention. So, who wants to take it next? And whoever's speaking next, I'm going to go put my son to bed. So,
Well, before you do that, I
Go
just
ahead.
want to point out something because you're really going to enjoy this. Kotaku just posted something about Jim Ross. They took Jim Ross commentaries from wrestling matches and put
Oh.
them over video game footage.
Holy crap, that's going to be awesome.
So I haven't watched it yet because we're doing this podcast, but I imagine it's amazing. So
That's
on
happening.
that, yeah, I just want to let you know that before you go put your son to bed.
All right, and Chance, you go next. Or
Okay.
I kind of want to hear both you guys, but I'll listen to the podcast.
Okay. Not a whole lot actually, like as far as quantity of games, but I've been playing a lot, I guess. I finished a game that we won't speak the name of in this podcast, even though Steven is not here to kick me out, so I could probably mention it, but I won't.
Tell me, please.
Paper Mario Sticker Star.
Guys,
beat
it's
that
not
one.
that bad.
That's what I'm saying, but we
I
won't
mean,
get into
it's
that.
a lot
Whatever.
worse than the other games in the series, but it's still fun, okay?
Yeah, it's a great game, but that's beside the point.
No.
I played a lot of Doom. Who would have thought? But I completed Final Doom. Really happy with that. Really great game. It's a mod of Doom 2 that was released or published by id. I didn't realize how late it came out as far as Doom games are concerned. It came out like 1996 or something like that. I think Quake was already released when it came out, so that was kind of cool to hear, that they still cared enough about it to go ahead and re-release it for PC and even the PlayStation 1. I beat it on the PC, of course, and it's very, very hard. I would not recommend it for anyone who is new to Doom. Don't play Final Doom first.
But you said it was a mod for the game?
Yeah, it's like just levels made by just fans.
Alright,
Like
but
it
it's
wasn't-
on the PlayStation.
Right, but it was PC also.
Oh, that's cool.
It's it's great. I won't say it's the best. It's good, but it is really difficult. So if you're new to the games, yeah, it's definitely a fan service kind of a thing. Final Doom. But other than that, I kind of achieved a personal goal with Doom, and that is to complete Doom 1 on PC on ultraviolence without cheating, because I've never done that before. I've beaten the game lots of times without cheating, but never on the ultraviolence difficulty. So that was pretty cool for me, I guess. And the first real experience I've had with the game with a mouse and keyboard, and it was just a true challenge, because as a kid I always just played with keyboard using the arrow keys and then control and spacebar. I never played with a mouse, and I'm starting to realize finally how much easier it is to use a mouse and how much I enjoy playing first-person shooters with a mouse and keyboard. It's
compared to 4 arrows, obviously.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, because I didn't know what strafing was for the longest time. Because I never used it. I never did it on Wolfenstein or Doom or even Quake. For the longest time, like I didn't strafe ever when I played a PC first-person shooter, and I wondered why I was so bad at them. Well, now I know why I was so bad at them, because I wasn't dodging anything.
It's really sweet when you realize stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a very, very amazing experience, especially as an adult, having played the game for so many years to have almost a brand new experience, with your favorite game of all time. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And other than that, we've already talked about it a lot, so I won't go into crazy details. But Dragon Quest IX on the DS, it's amazing. I love it. But I definitely understand when people say it feels just a little bit empty because it was meant to be like a multiplayer experience. So it does feel just a little bit empty. And I realize because the story is not very prevalent, although the ending that I'm towards the end, it really kind of picks up right at the end, as far as, interesting, like the events that are happening. Mm-hmm. But I could see, it's kind of predictable when you get to a certain point. You kind of figure out, who's behind what and what's going to eventually be the outcome. I am at, I want to say, the area where the final boss is. I don't want to say what it is, but
I was bummed. Like I was really hoping it was going to be online multiplayer. But, yeah. I mean, it's cool that it didn't. It would have been great to be able to gather in a room with people to play it. But like Dustin, there's just no one here to do it with. Nope. I don't know how Johnny Millennium got so lucky and was able to find all these people to play
he
with.
Lives in Vancouver. That's why.
Oh, there you go.
Even if there was just one other person, like to experience it with, and play together would be considerably better than, the way it is. And it's the type of game, because of that, that aspect of the game. For when I first started the game, I played so long solo before I realized that I had to go to this other place to like recruit party members. So I had to go back and get some party members because I couldn't get past where I was. I just would get wiped out.
That's like the worst thing I read before playing it. People reminding like, don't forget to get party members.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing that like,
good.
Like, I don't understand that because like playing Dragon Quest 3, it's like I know I have to go somewhere to recruit party members. So
yeah,
it like Dragon Quest 9 just felt like an updated Dragon Quest 3 to me, and I actually that's probably why I loved it the most, or like I really enjoyed it. I mean,
well, there's things with that system that I mean. I like the ones that give you options on classes to pick, but I would prefer, like, in How Millennium Girl, it has your party laid out for you. It makes it easier for me as a gamer, but I love the variety of options. It makes it
balanced without you having to risk, making the wrong choice.
And in the Dragon Quest IX, though, I got excited. It made me had to look up things like, well, what are the classes I could get, and what do I have to do to get the classes? Because I don't think I would have been able to figure out, like, I wanted a gladiator as one. But I probably would have never figured out how to do it if I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
So, and I'm guessing it's the same way in 3, right? There's probably more classes you can unlock later on by getting a certain class.
Well, you can change classes in 3, but it's like the later games really refine it more.
Okay.
It's really kind of like there's really no point in 3 to change classes.
Okay.
Except for like one thing. And then, but like the class system that's in like 9 and 6 and things like that, and 7, no, you don't really need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I never changed class because the thought of having to go back down to level 1, even though you kept your skills and things, just freaked the crap out of me.
Hey.
So...
Chance, you're hurting my heart. You're hurting my heart.
You already did it, Chance. Metal slime farming, man.
That's what I did. But so my main character is still the minstrel or whatever it is, the musical class. But I haven't allocated like any stat points to that skill slot or whatever it's called, litheness or however you say it. I've just been pouring points into shield and sword skills, and then my other 3 characters are a mage, a healer or a priest or whatever it's called, and then just the warrior class or whatever it's called. So it seems to be an okay party. I appreciate like the main character class has a little bit of magic, like so you actually learn a few of the black magic, in quotations, and white magic spells. You have some healing and some damage dealing spells for emergencies. But then, I have a character focused on casting attack spells and a character focused on healing, and then a guy can just waylay on the sword. And that's another thing I liked, the tactics, how you can it's almost like an auto battle kind of thing, where you set the characters up to just kind of auto battle, so you really only have control of one character, but you can change it, on the fly if you want to. Like on boss battles, I still, I have them set to follow orders where I pick my attacks and things like that. But for grinding and stuff, it's very easy to just let them do their own thing in the battles. And
it's very rare, but I love that in JRPGs.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It makes grinding like nothing. It makes the parts that normally are extremely tedious more fun, to me anyway. Like grinding for metal slimes wasn't hard at all, because once you get to a certain level above, strength-wise above the enemies in the area, you don't really have to worry about it anymore, about, having to go back and heal or anything, because you're pretty much going to be fine the whole time you're farming metal slimes. But I'm to a point now, like towards the end of the game, where it is starting to ramp up in difficulty a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm getting worried.
I had to actually died my first 2 times playing the final boss, but then I finally figured it out.
I've died a
Either
couple
once
of
or
times.
twice.
I've died a couple of times in different. Since I picked it back up, I used to die all the time because I didn't have a party, but. I've died a few times in different boss battles, but as a whole, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but it's a really easy RPG. Like it's pretty easy to get into and pick up and play. Anybody can pick this game up and just get it. Like there's nothing tough. There's no complex battle system. It's Dragon Warrior Quest at its finest. It's very good. I like it a lot.
Well, before we change it to something else, as I say, you mentioned we were talking about the party classes. Whenever I have a party where I can pick everyone's makeup, though, or what I want my party members to be, I always either want someone to be like I was a gladiator, the main character made a gladiator. I always like to have a monk or some type of fist fighter in my group. I always got to have a healer, and then I have a mage. But for that second melee class, I always just like having a monk type fist fighter, or like I think it was the monk is it called Monk in Dragon Quest 9? You could wear claws. Like I think that's who I had in 9.
Maybe.
So.
Like I said, I haven't experimented at all with like class changes. I haven't done it. I know where to do it. It's like I don't want to go back down to 1. I don't want to do that.
What do you guys like as party makeups? Would that be you guys group 2, or what would you want?
My traditional Dragon Quest party is the hero, and then a warrior, cleric, and mage.
Yeah.
And that's even what I do in like other RPGs as well. So,
I like having a tank character. It's nice to have like a tank kind of character, like a fortress.
Yeah.
It's not always available, but when it is, I usually try to make it work.
What about you, Senkai?
Yeah, same here actually. Well, the thing is, I always like the main character to be the hero. I think it just feels right. And also, I always like to have as many melee fighters as possible, because they usually do the most damage. But some enemies you will need magic to defeat, so to have like 2 melee fighters, a spellcaster, and a healer is usually my to-go-to setup.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, I'm finding out in Command Mission that I'm playing Mega Man X Command Mission. We didn't pick up on it from earlier. I'm like halfway done with that. But the so-called tank character in that is not a good job at tanking. So it's like in a turn-based system.
Cool,
yeah.
Wait, this is sending me back to Realm Reborn. All of a sudden, the tank character not doing his job.
Well, it's like he doesn't even. He's supposed to be like the heavy-duty tank, but he doesn't have a taunt move. Like, how do you put an RPG and he's supposed to be like a tank guy, but I don't have a taunt move to even get people to attack him. So. And when they do attack him, his health he drops down like crazy. Like he has no defense.
That's the worst kind of tank, which do not have a taunt, because it's so pointless. They're standing there with a lot of HP, but it's for no use.
Bravely Default did it right. They'll give you tank options in that game that'll provoke and stuff.
Love the game.
It did it right until it got to chapter 5 through 7.
But that's why you get the demo for the game, which is the first 4 chapters for free.
That's now.
Yeah.
That wasn't the way it was back then.
So, Dustin, what have you been playing?
Okay, real quick. Drakengard 3, absolutely love it. I think I talked about it enough tonight. The scores, review-wise, are completely off base, and it's a real problem in the industry right now.
Real problem, yeah.
Real problem. I've also been playing Shovel Knight, which I've been kind of doing it one stage at a time, like just tackling a certain knight's castle and then quitting and then playing the next day, just kind of taking my time with it. Because it's one of those games I feel like if I play too many hours in a row, like I'll just get really annoyed with it. Because it does get to be pretty difficult, and I'll be the first to admit I'm not the best at platformers. So, yeah. But I'm really enjoying it. It really brings back a lot of memories. It's really a perfect combination of like Mario, Mega Man, Castlevania 2, and a little bit of Zelda 2. Did I say Castlevania 2? I just meant Castlevania. And a little bit of Zelda 2 just to, even the mix out. But been enjoying that. And then I've also been playing, still playing Soma Bringer. For some reason, like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm playing it on the normal DS and not my DS XL. But, like, it's just hard for me to pick that up and play it on the normal DS.
Remind me again, what's Somabringer?
Somabringer is a action RPG on the Nintendo DS that was not brought west. It's done by Monolith Soft, and in a lot of ways, it does kind of feel like a portable Xenoblade because it's like the environments are so big, but it actually kind of feels like a lot like a looting RPG, like Diablo or something like that. Ooh. So, yeah. So, for Steven and Chance over there, this might be one that you want to look out for because you guys, Steven really likes Monolith Soft games, and Chance hasn't played Xenoblade yet. But
I really like that game till my
I didn't tell you, but I started it. I just haven't gotten very far yet.
It sounds cool though.
Yeah, and it has like when I say like a looting RPG, most people think, oh, there's not really a great storyline that goes along with that. It actually has a really in-depth storyline that goes along with it, too. So the way I'm playing it is completely wrong because when I start back up, I have no idea what's going on in the storyline.
I'm surprised how good the action, like, combat actually works for a DS game. Like, I know Solo to Robo is the one that always comes to mind, but it performs completely different from that one. It feels like a action, like, hack and slash, like, moves and stuff in it, so...
Yeah,
pretty cool.
And Senkai, this is for you. The music is absolutely phenomenal in it.
Oh yeah!
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah. So my advice to you:
it's a must-own.
Yeah, download the ROM, put it on a flash card, and play it. Or download the patch as well. So still slowly working on that. Steve and I played a little bit of Monster Hunter together. We've kind of been slacking off on that for some reason.
Yeah.
But it's like
because we keep getting our butt kicked in the first fight.
That's probably true. But I've been enjoying that. But I've Drakengard completely derailed everything. It's that good of a game for me. And then I just started today Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3 because we've been talking about Gundam so much that it's just like I'm such in a Gundam mood. And buying the series on DVD is such a cost prohibitive thing that this is going to be my way to relive that, I guess, in a way. And then as I finish this and get more into the Dynasty Warriors series, I'll probably pick up Gundam Reborn on the PS3 since it's a download only thing later on. But that's pretty much been it, I think.
Is it download only in North America?
It is. I mean, we can import the Vita physical copy or whatever, but whatever.
There's a physical copy for PlayStation 3 over here.
Oh,
If you want it.
Is it in English?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh wow! How much is it going for over there?
Yeah.
Around $50.
I don't know how much it is on PSN. I think it's like 25 on PSN.
I thought it was 40.
The new one?
Is it 40 on PSN?
It's 40.
Fuck that shit.
It was released like last week.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's a new game, man. Full-fledged game.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not even English over here.
What are you talking the voice acting?
I think it has Japanese voice acting with subtitles.
Ah, that might be the case over here too. I thought you were talking about the text in the game.
Yeah.
I can look it up.
But yeah, I did dabble into the first entry in that series, and I enjoyed that too. A lot of characters I don't know yet. I knew Domon Kashu, so I immediately played as him. Disappointed that it wasn't the original voice actor, but... And then, Senkai, I don't know if you played Mega Man Command Mission in English.
Oh, yeah.
And it is him voicing X in there. So I was like, that's awesome.
Same in Maverick Hunter X.
Do what?
On PSP, the remake for...
Oh, he's doing the voice in that too?
Yeah, and it's so cool because he's doing... X is doing Shining Finger on Sigma in a cutscene.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a parody or whatever. But he does.
Let me change my pants. Man, I think this was a packed episode, guys.
I would think so.
We probably could have topped Arrow tonight if we were allowed to, but I'm not allowed to.
Are you starting to get the stare?
No, she already came in and like, you got to put your boy to bed, so he wanted to see me.
What movie was it that you went to see?
Which one? Oh, Jack Ryan. And it is out on Blu-ray now.
I know, I've seen it, and it was pretty good. I liked it.
It was, wasn't it?
I gotta say, I forgive you now for leaving, because that was a pretty good movie.
Who's all seeing Planet of the Apes this weekend?
Oh, dude, I'm going to a movie this weekend, and it's debating what we want to see. There's good stuff at our local dollar theater, so everyone wants to go see like Captain America there or something. I think Unknown's there, and I'm trying to convince them, please, let's go see Planet of the Apes.
Did you see the X-Men movie? Because that one was really good.
Yeah, Days of Future Past. Yeah, it was really good.
I haven't, but it's close enough to be at my dollar theater almost that I might just wait since it's been out for a little bit.
Like, Mike was talking about rewatching all the X-Men before Days of Futures Past, and he's like, I think I'm going to skip Last Stand. And I was like, nah, rewatch it. You'll enjoy Days of Futures Past that much more.
Hold on. Are you telling me it can kind of connect it in there somehow?
Maybe.
Oh my word.
I actually liked Last Stand, but you know,
Brett Ratner film, X-Men Last Stand. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I like the Beast in Last more than the one in First Class.
I'm sorry. After X2, Last Stand was weak sauce.
The action was nice in it for me.
The action was nice, but like I don't know, just
storyline was kind of.
It was missing something.
Yeah.
It was like edited all to hell or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're not talking about X2. I think we're trying to wrap up here.
Let's wrap up. Senkai, thanks so much for doing this with us. I know the timing is weird there, and it's late or early in the morning for you.
That's fine. I had so much fun over here, so that's great.
Yeah.
No worries.
Everyone check their channel out, Accent on Gamers, and I'm pretty sure you'll probably see him on some more game nights here with us in the future, so probably beating us.
Any teaser on what the game might be?
It might involve a man with bombs.
Oh, yeah.
It might involve that.
And it might be on PlayStation again. So, everyone, there you go. And
thanks for taking the advice.
Capture that.
What's that?
I need to figure out a way to capture that because PlayStation 3 has a way you can't really use capture cards in it. I got to look in how to hook it all up. But
what?
Yeah, it's so
what do you
weird.
Mean? Why?
There's another piece you have to buy or something.
I did it for Street Fighter.
You didn't use HD though, correct?
Oh no, I just used the.
Yeah, for HD capture, it's different.
We don't need HD for this game.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
power
Just
RAM,
remove
probably don't.
1080p and keep it.
Oh, you gave it
720,
away,
It
you
should
fuck.
be able.
Oh, they don't know which one. Isn't there multiple ones?
I don't know.
Anyways, okay, let's wrap this up. Thanks for coming, good man, and thanks for coming, you guys.
Yep. Great episode.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you all. It was a lot of fun, and PSP is fucking amazing.
Yes.
That's the best way to end the episode. So,
Yeah.
thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
I keep forgetting I'm the one who closes this out. And
Turn it off now.